Hello everybody, welcome back to True Crime Metrix, hosted by me, the most hated Discord administrator in true crime. Oh, okay, so we need to do more work. Okay, that's fine, just sit tight guys, sit tight. We're not really launched yet. I will be in touch with everybody. Real soon. There is a link in the description. You can come in if you want. No, that's fine. Yeah, I'm aware of a few things, but yeah, we'll be back. We'll address those concerns tomorrow with a lot of love, and apologies where necessary. That will be coming. Just sit tight, guys. It's been a busy day. We've been at the fucking helm of the wheel for 17 hours. Have we eaten? Why would we eat? We don't have time for nutrition anymore. No. Anyway, it's good to be back, and we are continuing part 13 of the Charlie Adelson Rewatch. Look at him there. Isn't he great? Oh, exciting news. We do have a brand new outro, fantastic outro, with special mentions, thanks, and kindnesses to all the people that we love so dearly. I'm sure when I watch it in a real live scenario, I will remember a group that I had forgotten. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Where is our video? Is this it? Yes, there it is. That should do.
Okay, Judge, we are going to replay the first few seconds of the portion we played of that previous call.
Ooh, I think we have a new exclusive Metrix package member. Doesn't that sound professional and slick? Who is it? I don't know. Welcome, Metrix package.
Yeah. Thank you. So just back it up to maybe like 4:30.
So we're on day 5 now, by the way. Day 5 of an 8-day trial. Almost feels like the home stretch. So just to catch us up, we are continuing with Pat Sanford on the stand in the state's case in chief against Charlie Adelson, who's facing trial for the first-degree murder, solicitation of first-degree murder, and conspiracy to commit murder of his ex-brother-in-law, Dan Markel, Professor Markel. And Pat Sanford yesterday showed us the Dolce Vita recordings of Charlie meeting with other co-conspirator in the same crimes, Catherine McBanoir, who faced trial the year before Charlie Adelson in 2022, and was convicted and sentenced to life in prison plus 30 years. So we are continuing with Pat Sanford on the stand, and he's going to be taking us through some more wiretaps with the transcriptions there. Thank you, Pat.
Okay.
Anyway, so where we're at.
Wait, what was you
Okay, directly say what you did. Anyway, so where we're at.
wait, but look, you didn't even want me over to check her when I'm off the phone. And she said, no, I think you should. And I was like, I'm not even here.
You're not going to hurt with a lot of
Exactly.
So instead of like taking 500, you may take a little less, and then just give it to him twice. But definitely give him it as soon as you get it in him, and then give it to him
Does it
again.
have a
Like,
flavor? Did they ask you?
yeah, it looks like no, they don't have flavor, but it's just give him a fucking teaspoon and be like, fucking swallow it.
I know, that he's such the biggest baby about it. Alright,
So,
I
you
know,
know,
I know.
swallow it or fucking smack his ass. We're always gonna be pain. If you listen, if it really hurts him, we'll fucking swallow it.
I know. But you don't understand, it's like it comes in words, like you'll cry.
Yeah, no, it's
sleep.
abscess.
And then-
It's, hey, listen to me. It is abscess. You're there.
I'm not exactly sure why they're playing this call. This is the call where Charlie Adelson, who's obviously a dentist, or a periodontist, but, you know, part of that is being a dentist, and Katie McBanower's son, what's his name? I forget his name. Her daughter's called Kaylee, and the son's name is... God, I forget. The brother is Francis. It's not Francis. What's Katie McBanower's son called? Anyone know? Yeah, I mean, all it is the boy's got an abscess and Katie's looking for some free dental advice and prescriptions.
There's a clear abscess there. So I would do.
Howdy Acapella and music by Brian. Welcome back, Udi. Victoria Girl, Pie Bird, John Duncan, Mary A. Welcome back, welcome.
That, and then also give them an ibuprofen. Take an ibuprofen, grind it up, and put it with some applesauce on a spoon, and let them take it that way.
Ethan. Is it Ethan? Yeah, it's Ethan. Okay. Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Sonny. And Paula and Diane. Mini
So give them like the liquid.
I've missed Acapella's comments. Always in there with the puns.
Liquid. And
I
then
know, but I'm saying like, I've been giving them Tylenol. I just have an Motrin, so I'm gonna get another bottle of Motrin because I already finished.
just give them Motrin, not Tylenol. Either way. But the ibuprofen, the Motrin with the amoxicillin, I'll be feeling so much better tomorrow.
Okay.
But it really takes, you have to have it in your system for 24 hours for it to really.
Checked on him and I was like, this is not good.
No. All right.
Okay. Benadryl.
You can always, I hate doing it, but you can always take a quarter of your bar of
I know.
and break it, and then break it into
If
another
I
quarter.
had, I swear that's another thing. If I had, I would.
Like you would,
I am
the whole
like-
family would be on fucking Xanax. Why don't you just blow some weed in his face?
The whole family would be on fucking Xanax. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it sounds familiar, Charlie, right? Hey, don't make yourself sick over my life sentence, Mom. Make sure you take a pill. Give Dad a pill. Yeah, have you got the pills? Take another pill.
No, I'm kidding.
Yo, who are you?
I'm kidding.
Who
I'm
are
kidding.
you?
But no, but I got
And he just said, you know, you can tell, I mean, Charlie does not have kids at this point. I don't think he's ever been really warm to the idea of being a parent for the sake of caring about another human being. You know, he's like, why don't you just blow some weed smoke in his face? We're talking about a 10-year-old kid here. Yeah, okay. And then he's like, I'm kidding. He's not kidding. He's not kidding at all.
he's got the drugs. He's fine. Let him get started on it. And it is. If you don't think it causes anything, you can tell him it's from maybe when you open up the present.
Okay.
Remember the person
You're
who said-
scaring me. I'm gonna put down. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna open it now before. I don't know, because you're scaring me.
Was it in your car or is it your house?
It was my house. But I hid it.
Well, go fucking look what's in there and tell me if it's okay for his birthday present. All right?
What's my birthday present?
You get nothing.
Uh,
All right, I'll talk to you later. Dude, I got you tickets to the concert.
I know. Thank you. I'd like to thank you.
Where's my birthday? It's not your birthday today. Wait, you wait
Yeah.
first.
Whatever. Yeah, it's
All
my
right,
daughter's birthday.
I hope it feels better.
It's your other goddaughter. It's your goddaughter's birthday then the one.
Oh, yeah? I got all these people that want me to adopt them.
No, well, you already know my kids.
I got like 60-year-old women in offices asking me, saying, "Where's your kid?" And they go, "I don't have any." They go, "Can you adopt me?" I'll give you the Father's Day card. Fucking amazing. I got Scotty wants to be adopted. I got like 8 people that want to do that.
I want to be adopted. You don't want to adopt me. Adopt my kids.
I give you a little love.
You're the godfather.
But what do you think in chat, guys? Why are they playing this call? Is it to show that another favor that Charlie did for Katie? He called in prescriptions. I mean, the actual function of this call seems pretty regular as far as I remember. Maybe I'm missing something towards the end. I mean, he's a doctor. She's got a health issue for her child and is phoning a friend. I mean, why is it being played at trial? There's so many other better calls to play at trial.
All right.
Well, that's it.
Okay, I think we can move on now to you.
You. That's appropriate for a trial against a narcissist, isn't it? It's all you. We're going to move on to call you. Me. Good evening, Newly Jen. How you doing? And ultra testosterone.
Go ahead and get the money lent and then we pay that.
It's very interesting.
So that's really how people make a lot of money, is using other people's money to make it.
Oh, sure. It's a very good.
So we'll see. I mean, Alex says if it will be a track record of 2 years, it will not be a problem raising capital at all. So that's what.
It will not be a problem raising capital at all. What are they? So this is another one of his crooked dentist stock deals.
That's good stuff. So are you on your way now to the gym?
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
So is everything else okay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, or you just saying this?
Just saying.
Yeah, I figured that you got. Did you see somebody today, or was it?
No, it's different, but I'll see you on Sunday, we'll talk.
You don't want to come down and see me tonight?
No.
Was it bad, or was it?
No, we'll just, see you Sunday. So, yeah.
I know, because I can kind of talk to you, but like, you know, when I talk to you and you're not giving like appropriate responses,
Yeah,
like my stories, it just seems like it's other, like,
yeah.
did someone bother Wendy?
Not yet.
Or do you think they will?
I don't know.
Well, I
Sunday, we'll talk.
Well, I think it's important that you see me before Sunday.
Well, where exactly are you going to be tomorrow? Dad is off tomorrow, so maybe we'll get a chance to use it. Sounds like a very good thing.
Well, I'm meeting Doug in the afternoon. I haven't texted I haven't texted Adam yet. Yeah, it's supposed to meet him at some point, but just, I mean, I can set up a meeting with him at any time. I mean, do you want to come up to my house in the morning, or?
That might be a good idea.
Because I'll tell you what, I don't want to wait,
Yeah, I agree.
and then you wait, and something that could have been nipped in the bud early becomes something that doesn't get nipped in the bud early, and then it snowballs out of control.
Yeah, so maybe tomorrow, we're up early. So, once we got, looking maybe for breakfast or something around. You want to meet Charlie for breakfast, Charlie? Yeah. You want us to come to you, right?
Well, traffic is, I could, let me find out.
Check your schedule and then we'll work something out, okay?
Yeah, let me do that, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Sounds good. Let's discuss that once you check
But I
your
mean,
schedule.
I think it's just better that things get nipped in the bud early.
Yeah,
I don't know why you wouldn't just call and let me know.
there's reasons. Let me talk to you tomorrow. You figure out your schedule. We're free until we have to pick up the kids, so we'll
What
walk
time?
around.
All right, so it's apparent some other contact has occurred. Is this timing of this call consistent with that being from the text bump that we saw a few moments ago?
Yes, it's the same day, the afternoon of when it happened.
And the text bump indicates I want the money now or I'm going after the 100K, right?
Correct.
The 100K, you said it was a reward. A reward for what?
Reward for information leading to the investigation leading to the arrest of the killer for Dan Markel.
And at any time, does Donna or anyone in this case text the undercover and say, do that?
So this fucking this is supposed to be believable, right? The Latin King extortionist, the second extortionist, whatever, the FBI undercover comes to Donna Adelson, says, "I want $5,000 for my brother Taco. He's incarcerated. You helped Katie and Tudo. You need to help Taco," and blah 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 blah. So he's saying, "Give me $5,000, and if you don't, I'm gonna go after the $100,000." I mean, yeah, okay. I mean, if I were the Latin King, I'd be really wishing that they didn't give me the $5,000. If going after the $100,000 was a real option. They should know that. I'm surprised the cops even put that out there. I mean, they should have said, give me $50,000, cash, unmarked, non-stapled money.
No, they didn't.
Go get the reward. Solve the case.
Nope, they did not.
And throw in a jet ski.
All right, so let's go to the next day. What did we decide about the... Skipping VV and we're going to WW.
Hey, Charlie.
Hey, how are you?
Good, honey. How are you doing?
Good. I'm coming across the bridge now.
Oh, okay. Okay, wonderful.
Do you want me to come to the apartment, or do you want to come down?
You know what, we'll meet you outside, and then we can walk to the pool area.
All right, sounds good.
Okay?
All right, I'll see you soon.
Okay, thank you. Bye.
XX.
Ma'am.
Hello?
No.
Yes.
I'm just, I put the page outside and shoot it up a little bit.
The what?
I put the page outside and shoot, I'm talking to my sister Susan on the other line. She called me out of the group.
Oh, you're gone?
Yeah. I put the page up there and shoot you up. What's up?
I wish I was.
It's not like you're going to do it.
Yeah. Not that I was in feel, but I don't even know.
Can you get out of the whole place?
No, I'm saying that it's like a call, so.
You got a call?
Yeah, I'm like, what happened? But I'm not, I'm talking to my parents, and I was like, okay,
It's your turn?
yeah. So I'm like, what's going on? I don't know. So I'll call you and I get kind of about that, right? So like I was calling you to see what you're up to.
So Katie's telling Garcia that she spoke to Charlie, although she doesn't say his name, and he's got to speak to his parents. McBanoa says, yeah, so I'm like, where you... I was like, what's going on? And on that, I don't know. He said, I'll call you when I get... I'll leave my parents' house. I was like, all right, so that's why I was calling you, to see what you're up to. Garcia, okay. McBanoa, I feel dizzy. And then my ears start ringing like really bad. Garcia, the fuck, man? McBanoa, I know, just when I text you, just, like, respond back to me. Man, I started, like, freaking panicking. All right? Garcia, all right.
I started ringing, my ears started ringing, like you got it.
Oh, man.
When I text you, just respond back to me.
Hi, Michelle. Hi, James W. Got some snark tonight, Metrix? Perhaps. That's always the aim. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes it don't. But yeah, as soon as we get out of these calls, I mean, these calls are really hard to hear, but I can't skip them, right? We got to do the whole thing, not miss one detail.
They're like pretty panicking. Right?
Oh.
4XX, I missed an item on our sheet, meeting at pool. What does that refer to?
Charlie Adelson met with his parents at the Icon. We tried to cover it, sent some agents in to try to record, but they could not get close enough to them.
Where did the meeting occur?
It occurred like in the pool area inside the Icon.
All right, so the three of them sat down at the pool area and had a chat, or something
Yeah,
else?
apparently they were in a private pool area inside the building. They were in the pool area by themselves talking.
Okay. All right, sorry I missed that. Let's jump forward to why.
Yeah, why? Another good one. Why, oh why Did we think we could get away with this?
Hey, let me call you in a little bit, okay? I may just call you from the landline. I'm at my friend Adam's place in Miami.
Oh,
I'm down in the Gables, so I'll probably call you from the landline. Ready?
right. What are you doing?
Okay. Yeah, I'll call you in a little bit.
All right, ZZ, please.
Hey.
Music by Brian is Udi Michelle. He had to change his name because he deleted his account or something.
Hey, no, like trying to find my son is like, I don't even know where he is.
Just look for the
Oh,
kid
really?
on monkey bars.
Yeah, probably him, right? Okay, just give me a quick recap because, like what exactly on the time?
And I'm not asking you to do anything about it
Mm-hmm.
at all.
Oh, hi, baby. Come on. Yes, baby, you gotta put up.
I'm not asking you to do anything about it at all. Okay, Charlie. Well, so what's this call about, buddy? You know when someone says that like that? Listen, I'm not asking you to do anything about it at all. I'm just saying that you really should and need to.
Wait a minute. Go ahead.
But the person said, so you don't take me serious, and you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You see, Charlie's so funny. He thinks what he wants is for this guy to be killed by Sigfredo Garcia, right? I mean that's if it's a Latin king that's a friend of Taco that is trying to use some of the information that he's heard through the grapevine to manipulate the Adelsons out of some money and scare them and threaten them with the cops, that's getting way too close, baby. We want this guy taken out. We already got away with one murder. We can do it again. But Charlie thinks, now the best way to get away with this order, this solicitation, is to tell her that I'm not asking for him to be killed. Now, I don't want you to do anything about it at all. But, just so you have all the information, he said that if you don't take me serious and you have some puta call me up, baby, Katie's baby daddy.
Yeah, the person says, so you don't take me serious, and you have some puta calling me up, baby, Katie's baby daddy. So, and then it's like, so you don't know what, so you don't, or something, and then.
See, Charlie's thinking that the fact that the undercover guy who's posing as the Latin king referred to Katie's baby daddy, to Charlie, that's a big indicator that it is some Latin king that's connected with Taco, knows Tudo, knows Katie, someone who's been around and someone the cops wouldn't miss, Oh, another gang member ended up dead. So, we'll get our lead team on this immediately. Yeah. Charlie's really hoping that this could be one of those gangland murders that just doesn't raise the bar.
There's something about it was done for you.
Say
And there was something about, like, you don't respect what was done for you or something like.
You don't respect?
Oh, you don't? No, you don't. He was like, it was like 20 words. It started off with, so you don't think I'm serious. And then it was, you have some.
He said on the phone. Huh?
Okay,
Go, tell me.
yeah,
I'm listening.
so you don't take them serious, and you have some poop doc call me up, Katie's baby daddy. You don't appreciate what was done for you or something like that.
All
And
right.
that was it. That was it. It just ended.
All right.
But it came from that same number. The person didn't block the number they're texting from.
Yeah, no, we already got to that. We got to that
Yeah.
point already. All right, gotcha.
So don't do
Alright.
anything. And I have a feeling, it's one of two things. And I could care less. I just want the person to stop harassing me.
Go on the phone. Okay, gotcha.
But
Gotcha.
evidently, if you're whoever called, the person would give a shit.
No, I had a friend that called, but.
Yeah, whoever it was that called, this person texted my mom at 2 o'clock in the morning, could really give a shit.
Now he's referencing.
He referenced, the only person's name he referenced in the text was Katie's baby daddy.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, he was in the way. I heard this stuff.
yeah.
No, it really has a baby daddy.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, so the weird thing is, whoever it is, could really give a shit about what was said to him. Because he has no problem continuing to send text messages from that number.
That's the part. That's the part that.
From that number. So he's saying, what does he say? Yeah, but the weird thing is whoever it is couldn't really give a shit about what was said to him because he has no problem continuing to send text messages from that number. What a fantastic game, the FBI. Can you imagine what it was like for them watching this unfold in real time? Must have been hilarious and exciting, but mostly hilarious.
Without what was said to him. Because he has no problem continuing to send text messages from that number.
That's the part. That's the part that really boggles my mind.
Yep. So don't do anything.
Not afraid, obviously. Somebody that's fishing
No.
for something.
Some
Somebody that
people
can get all of this information. This is, I mean, the personal phone calls, a text, somebody, like it's a lot.
Okay, but this is my one fear.
Uh-huh.
Nobody can protect somebody all the time. If it's a 1% chance that it is a bad guy who did something bad, I worry about my dad's safety going into an office where.
No, I get you, bro. You don't gotta like.
And that's what.
Walk out of me, like, sure, like, go.
Yeah, Katie, I don't want you to do anything at all, but I am worried about my dad's safety, so...
Like, no.
Yeah, that's what,
Right. And if whoever it is, if they're referencing to me, you don't think I'm scared?
Yeah, and whoever it is, like, whoever called, the person could obviously
But
give a fuck.
no.
He called him a poop dog.
That becomes,
He called him a puta. I don't want you to do anything, but he did call your baby daddy a puta, so... What does that mean to you, Katie? Anything?
more of like,
Are you gonna let that stand, Katie?
okay,
Yeah.
what are you doing now? What are you doing now? Like, is it somebody that's waiting for you to be like, hey, like, are you gonna play? Like, or
Well,
like somebody's trying to like message you, like, you know what I mean? Like, read between the lines. It becomes
There's a lot-
more.
Oh, Discord. Right, well, it's not called, by the way, guys, about Discord. So, I think at the beginning of the weekend, it was discovered that there was a pigeon living inside Discord with bird flu. So, with no notice, we had to evacuate before sending everybody into mass quarantine. The ornithology department have been into Discord over the weekend, located the pigeon, and extracted him. So Discord has now been reopened. But yeah, we're still ironing. We're still spraying down the surfaces with chemicals, bleach, and so on. So yeah, you can enter. Is that the link, Acapella? Let me double check. I mean, it's in the description for the video. But like I said, it's not, officially announced. But you're welcome to go in. I don't know that the rules were well received. I thought it was funny. I don't know. I thought it was funny. Most of it's a quote from fucking V for Vendetta. John Hurt. Good movie, strong movie. Natalie Portman. Everybody loves that movie. Yeah, so feel free, but be prepared to be offended. If that's your deal, that's okay. That's okay. But most of all, comply. Just comply. Comply. Yeah, what is the link? I've got the link. The link is, Acapella's got the link, it's right there. Open the floodgates.
More of like, damn, this is a fetish? Like, what is going on?
And then if they do, they're throwing a lot of information out that I don't know. So which is crazy. The question is, where did they get it from? And why don't we just go collect the reward, whoever has the information?
Exactly. All right. We're saying the same thing repetitively, and it's just getting to the point where it's like,
so don't do anything. I just don't. It's just aggravation. That's all. I just want my family left alone. Yeah.
Yeah, Newly Jen. I don't know what trouble you've been having with Discord, but I've. Well, should I go into this? I don't know. I mean. Yeah, it's a good thing we don't have guns in this country. Because I would have probably blown my fucking head off by now.
Well, that's my day. Hopefully I have a day off, so we can hang out with everybody and deal with nonsense.
right.
So,
Right. Like, I try to remember so many, and it's so hard because you throw in so many other details behind it that it's like when I have to like think it out in my head, like I'm all over the place because like there's just so much more of what's not necessary.
no, I know. I would do that. I would go off on tangents and shit. I just, listen, you're just my friend. That's the only reason why I'm going to.
I know, it's pissing me out because it's like, I don't even know, like, I'm trying to help you out and figure out like what the hell's going on. So,
I wish I knew what was going on with all the fucking crazy people out there. I mean,
goodbye, everyone.
all right, good luck with his endo appointment.
I'm gonna call him because I don't like even like anything. So,
All right, I'll talk to you later.
Okay, next we have a text, AAA. Can we publish that, please? And if you'll tell us about this text.
This text is from
I've just checked that link, Michelle. It's that's an invitation. Yeah, it's correct. MEPU4Z9SYM. Yeah, that's it. That's correct.
It's from Catherine McManua to Sigfredo Garcia.
What does it say?
It says, "Call me if you can step out of the office for a second."
Okay. Play BBB, please.
Hello?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
So, how does it prepare? Did you pick up anything?
Yeah, I'm home.
Yeah.
But it was such a mission to go get him. Hello?
Yeah.
Are you okay?
Yeah.
What do you call? One of my friends just called me and was saying like, remember when I had asked you like to do me a favor because somebody harassed me with my best auntie?
Yeah.
Alright, they texted yesterday at 2 o'clock in the morning, not giving a shit, not blocking their number, with the same freaking number that I had,
Yeah.
to help me out with whatever, saying, obviously you're not taking me seriously. You have a puta calling me who is Katie's baby daddy, and I was like, what are they talking about? Like, he's like, my friend is telling me, like, I don't even know if it's you or whoever. I mean, the thing is, like, these guys are gonna go out with, like, plenty of kids that have a lot of kids friends. Like, I don't know who the hell it is. And, you don't appreciate what was done for you or something, and this is not gonna stop. What's so funny is, how does somebody know your voice?
You see, this is the clever bit of the whole bit that the FBI did about, hey, I'm gonna get that $5,000. You better give me that $5,000. If you don't, I'm going for the $100,000. You know, that's not so good. But this thing about Katie saying, what's so funny is, how did somebody know your voice? Or even they're talking to you. Because when Garcia called the undercover got pissed off, or I think it was was it a voice message, a voicemail? I don't know. I think it was just a voicemail. You have some puto call me, and now the undercover has reported to Charlie, you have Katie's baby daddy call me. So it makes it look like the undercover knows Garcia's voice. I mean, or the other explanation is, it's the FBI who know everybody and are fucking with you.
Even if they're talking about you.
Yeah.
Could be a completely different person for all I know, you know?
Yeah.
You're asking me because it's like, it seems, like, you know, because I told them, like, help them, you know, like, I was like, oh yeah, I'll try to help you out. But it's funny how it just happened late last night at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's like somebody got hit.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, 100%.
And they're not supposed to use that number because their parents will definitely need, you know, they up to how much more should they get around? I don't think anybody should go through that. And it's funny, like, how do you get, you know, it's just calling his mom, like, not calling anybody else, but like, yeah, you can look it up or whatever, but it's pretty great. I mean, your number.
Yeah, it is pretty great.
So, I just don't like, you know, the fact that my name is being thrown out and baby daddies are being thrown out. Like, what is all that?
Yeah, no, I'm nothing about it. So, how does it prepare? Did you pick up anything?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be it was such a mission to go get him.
Okay, so we were on May 5th. Let's go to May 6th. On May 6th, does Donna Adelson call the undercover?
Yes.
How many times does she call the undercover?
I believe maybe 3 times.
Okay, does she leave a voicemail one time?
I believe so.
How many times does she actually have a conversation with the undercover?
Just once.
Alright, and Judge, that call is on State's Exhibit 107. Move to publish that call at this time.
You may.
Look,
This is Mrs. Adelson. Is this,
Oh, this is good.
Sammy. Okay, my grandchildren had my phone before, so,
Senora Adelson?
I'm Mrs. Adelson. My
Yes,
grandchildren-
yes.
Yeah, my grandchildren
Yes.
had my,
Yes, yes, yes. My grandchildren had my phone before. Did I tell you that I'm a grandmother? I'm old and weak. Don't pick on me.
phone before, so that's, and I just saw that you called.
Oh, okay.
I was,
I'm old and weak. Give me special allowances, please. My grandchildren, they have my phone. I'm a grandmother. Aren't you Spanish people supposed to respect your matriarchs? I'm a matriarch, goddammit.
You left a message on my voicemail.
right, I did.
Yes.
This is my problem. You approached me on Alton Road. You handed me an article from the
I would pay good money to see the bit of paper that Donna Adelson has written bullet points on for this call. Can you imagine? This is my problem. You approached me on Alton Road. And what is it? Let's hear it again.
my phone before, so that's, and I just saw that you called.
Oh, okay. You left a message on my voicemail.
Right, I did.
Yes.
This is my problem. You approached me on Alton Road. You handed me an article from the newspaper about my ex-son-in-law.
You know, when they were thinking this out, you know that this call has been majorly considered, gone over, fresh eyes, rehearsed, role-played, fucking the works, right? Got to be careful on this call. Stick to the facts. Stick to the known facts. The facts that would be known. Don't reveal anything. Don't reveal any additional facts. You approached me on Alton Road. You handed me an article from the newspaper about my son-in-law.
You told me I need to call you and help your friend who was in prison. Now, at the time you did that, I didn't understand what you were talking about. I didn't call you back. Then you mail me a threatening letter. Then you send me a text message to my phone that says I'm not taking you seriously. So I am taking you seriously. And I really want you to listen to me.
I'm listening.
I have to tell you, I mean, this is important. I have been so stressed out. I have spoken to 10 or 12 people who are close friends of mine, telling them about this and basically picking their brains and asking them what I should do, because I don't know your friend who is in jail. You mentioned a name. I don't even know his name. I never spoke to him. I don't know what he...
I never spoke to him. Well, why would you if you had no connection? I never spoke to him. That to me means I'm aware that he had something to do and was involved with a plan that I know happened. But I never contacted him directly. We had a train of communication. That was our main thing. You know, one cart speaks to the cart behind it and so on.
Looks like I've never met him. I'm sorry your friend's in jail, but I don't know what that has to do with me.
You know exactly what it has to do with. You know exactly what. Listen to me carefully. Listen to me. You just got to listen to me.
You need to ask your friend who this person looks like, what their name is, something, because I know there's a big reward out there, and if you need money for your friends, that's the way to get it. I mean, I'm asking you nicely. I don't know who he is. I am out of the loop. It is not me. If I can help, I would help. I mean, that's what.
Just like I told you. Listen to me. Just like I told you.
I am out of the loop, Donna? What loop would that be? I mean, I never spoke to him. I'm out of the loop.
That day, we know that your family had a problem up north. We know that problem was taken care of about 1.5 years, 2 years ago. And we know that Katie has been taken care of and has been taken care of. Now my brother in jail, we were in Broward together. He told me the whole thing, and he hasn't been taken care of. You know. Now, all that's being asked for is $5K. That's all we're asking for is for $5K. And
Why? Why is all you're asking for $5K? Why would that make any sense? You know these people are fucking millionaires, right? Why would you only ask for $5K? If you're going to go and commit extortion and, demanding money with menaces, I guess you would call it, right? Under threat of, well, it's not specifically under threat of violence, but it's fair to say that's implied. That's serious stuff. I think it's extremely serious in Florida, right? I mean, it's like a 20 fucking year sentence. You're gonna do that for a month's salary? No. You would demand at least 100 grand in unstapled money.
he told me everything, and I know everything. I know who's involved. I know everything, and I'll get the 100K for myself.
You know,
All I ask is to send the 5K. Everybody.
Yeah, that would make a lot more sense, man. If you just said, listen, I need 100K, I'm going to get it one way or the other. You either give it to me, and I say nothing to the FBI, or I go to the FBI and tell them all about you. That would be... That would just be a better argument, I think. We want 5 grand. I mean, he might as well... It's basically the same as going up to them and say, listen, we want $250. We want $250 or we're going to the police.
Everybody knows what's going on.
I don't, you're saying everyone knows. I know I lost my ex-son-in-law. I did not have anything to do with it. That's why I said, ask him what.
That's what my brother Tasso told me. He told me everything when we were in jail. He told me everything and who was involved. I know everything.
Well, I don't. That's the problem. I'm telling you, it's not me. It's not me.
I love this thing. I love this thing, you know. Donna. Donna didn't really have on her bullet points, get specifics, you know. He keeps saying the same thing. I was with Taco up in Broward, and he told me everything. Everything doesn't mean anything unless you show something that you know, right? He told me everything. You know, it's like, well, what does that mean?
I have had a year of aggravation, a year and a half of aggravation over this. My daughter, my grandchildren. It is not me. And when I ask my friends, what do they think? They
A little bit of truth coming out there, Donna, huh? I've had a year and a half of aggravation. My daughter, my grandchildren. Yeah, I bet you wish they were up in fucking Tallahassee and you only had to see them once a month or so, you know. Yeah, we thought we'd bring Wendy down here, but it turns out that she just left the boys with us and made us pay for all of their life expenses while she went out to dinners and dates.
said, well, this person needs to get a description of you because of what
That's the second time she's asked for a description. I'm not even 100% who she's asking for a description of. Let's see if we can pick that down, nail that down. Hang on.
not me. I have had a year of aggravation, a year and a half of aggravation over this. My daughter, my grandchildren. It is not me. And when I ask my friends, what do they think? They said, well, this person needs to get a description of you because of what you look like or it's not me.
I still don't know what she means. Her friends tell her that this person needs to get a description of you. It's confusing as fuck. Who are we needing to describe? Taco? Well, he's about 4'4", kind of chunky, neck tattoo. What good does that do anyone? We've described Taco. I don't get it. Why does she, that's the second time she's asked for a description. The first time she said it, I was like, she wants that, but why? And now she said it a second time. So she really wants a description, but it's really unclear of who and for what. Anyone got any ideas? Who does Donna Adelson need a description of? It wouldn't be Sammy because she's seen him. So why would she need a description of Taco? The only person I mean, is it Charlie? I really don't get it. Let's see if she asks it again. Let's just catch up with these comments here. Acapella says, well, then he should have added, I should have mentioned it's $5,000 a month. Yeah, I mean, that would still be an amount small enough for the Adelsons for them not to notice. I mean, they were given 3 to Katie. $5,000 is Charlie's take by lunchtime. Yeah, right. He's kind of Dr. Evil on his amount. $5,000. James W. says, $5,000 makes him appear to be a small peripheral player who might not be too dangerous to the Adelsons. I don't think that's how he's trying to represent himself. I think he's trying to represent himself that's connected. My brother, I was with him up in Broward. He's a big guy. Yeah, I mean, because it's an undercover, they can't threaten violence. They're very careful about that. If they threaten violence, that's a pretty easy way for defense counsel to say, of course they gave the money. This was a huge guy with an accent that threatened violence. They gave the money. Then they nullify the admission of guilt within that. But I don't think the goal is to make him look like a small peripheral player. I think they're quite happy that he looks connected. But the 5K amount doesn't add up. Eric Norgard says she's probably getting word to Charlie asking him if he could create a dumb story for her to tell during her trial with all of the facts in front of her. She's probably getting word to Charlie asking him if he could create a dumb story for her to tell during her trial with all of the facts in front of her. Well, I don't know what that story would be. Patricia Burns, how you doing? Sometimes Charlie talks like Stephanie Lazarus. Yeah, a little, I know what you mean. He was trying to imply he's part of the Latin King gang member, was he not? Yes, absolutely. My brother. He doesn't mean brother by birth.
I don't know who caused this. It wasn't me. I mean, I don't know.
I'll tell you, just like that day when I talked to you, this is not going away. This is not going to go away because Tato told me everything. He wasn't being taken care of. He needed the 5K. Spent 5K. That's all we were asking for. If don't do that.
I don't know who Tato is. You don't understand.
We know you don't know who Tato is, but you know who Katie is. And you know the contacts Katie has. And she has, listen to me, let's stop fucking around. Let's stop fucking around. Okay? You know who Katie is. And you know that Katie has...
That cough was Judge Everett, just so you know. That was not me. I would never do that. Judge Everett needs a mute button.
somebody that knows Tato. And they took care of a problem for you.
Look, you don't believe me? I'll prove it. We'll go back and we'll hear Judge Everett cough again.
We know you don't know who Tato is, but you know who Katie is. And you know the contacts Katie has. And she has, listen to me, let's stop fucking around. Let's stop fucking around. Okay? You know who Katie is. And you know that Katie has somebody that knows Tato. And they took care of a problem for you people. That's just the bottom line. The bottom line is you know who the fuck Katie is.
Look, I
no more than Mr. No, I'm not fucking around with it. You know who Katie is. You know that they took care of Katie and her people. Nobody's taking care of Tato. I know you don't know who Tato is.
No,
but we know who all of you are. And this ain't going away.
You know what?
So I can give you you want then the 5K?
Here's what you need to do. You need to go and...
Don't tell me what to do. I know what to do and I'm doing it.
You're looking for money. Get $100,000 or whatever whatever the reward is. It isn't me. You have got the wrong person. That's why I said ask your friends.
You're Donna Adelson.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Well, I know. We know who's involved in all this.
Yes, this is not making any sense. I mean, if you want the money, you should get it from the police. They can give you a whole lot more than then you're asking me for money for someone I can't do this. I have had too much stress and too much aggravation from this, and I don't know what you are talking about. I just don't know. I just don't know.
Good. I think you should talk to Katie. Talk to people that are involved in this. You'll know. You know what's going on.
That's why I'm.
You can tell me. Senora Adelson, you can tell me all you fucking want, but I know you know. Because I know, because I heard, when I was locked up in Broward with my brother, he told me everything. Everything.
Yeah. Not just some things. Everything. All things. Everything.
He told me everything.
Well, then
I just wanted to take care of him because fucking Katie was being taken care of with her fucking Pluto.
I just think instead of asking me, you should get the money from the police. There's a lot of money out there, and I know if you think you know who this is, then go ahead and do it, because I know it isn't me. I know it isn't me. And I can't take this kind of level of stress. I just can't. I know I didn't do anything.
Then what are you stressed about? I mean, you got to put yourself in the mind of someone who is completely innocent, nothing to do with Dan's death, knows for 100% Charlie didn't have anything to do with Dan's death. Nothing. You know, if you're that assured, there will be no evidence that you've got to worry about. I mean, if she were innocent, what would it be that would stop her going to the police department immediately and saying, listen, I'm getting calls, I'm getting harassed, I'm getting threatening letters, text messages, they're stopping me on the street in person, they handed me this, and they're demanding money from me. We need to have a squad car parked outside our house, because find this guy. This is his phone number. Go and speak with him. You know, Charlie actually addresses that. I think it's in Dolce Vita, where he's saying to Katie, if it's the police, I'm happy. If it's the police, no, what does he say? He says, if I go and turn in the extortionist to the police and he proffers 10 years, you know, in 10 years, that guy's going to get out and think, who was it that put me in jail for that long? And then come after us. Well, you know, yeah. That'd be pretty stupid. That'd be pretty... reminds me of that scene from Casino when Joe Pesci says, tomorrow morning I'm going to get up. I'm going to take a nice walk over to the bank, and if you don't have my money for me, I'm going to break your fucking head open right in front of everybody at the bank. And just about the time I'm getting out of jail, hopefully you'll be getting out of your coma. And guess what? I'll bust your fucking head open again. Oh, you gotta love Joe Pesci when he's being himself, right?
You talk to people, you talk to the right people, you talk to people, you make this 5K come to me. That's all I need. Just do it and get it to me. Do it and get it to me.
I'll call you
Bye.
back.
Okay, so here we have Donna making the call.
Correct.
And she refers the undercover to get the reward, to the police to get the reward, right?
Yes.
And then does she also report these incidents and what's been happening to law enforcement at that time?
No, ma'am.
Does anybody report these incidents and what's been happening and the stalking and harassment that's been going on? Does anybody report that to law enforcement?
No, not at all.
Do we have any evidence that Donna Adelson recorded that call with the undercover?
Yes.
Okay, let's go to CCC, please.
How did that call end? I was reading the comments. Okay, I'm not going to go back.
Hey Charlie, how are you?
Good, what's going on?
Good. Well, we just finished with dinner. We drove through Blackwell back to the hotel in Miami, and we just got back to the icon. So we went for just a little walk along the marina, and then we're going to go upstairs.
Right, I just stepped away, I was having, dinner with you on my phone.
Okay. I'll let you go right back.
I will.
To tell you that I did have that handpiece now.
Okay, great.
So it was like,
Whatever your question, any more nonsense from the patient?
yeah, that's why, those things always get aggravating, but I try not to let that bother me.
Was it that?
Oh, no, and I did, I loaded that new app too. I have to show it to you. I think you'll really be interested.
Okay, so you had, how long of a talk did you have?
8.
8 minutes?
Yeah,
You talked to the patient for 8 minutes,
yeah.
and they were nice?
Well, not really.
Yeah,
Did they-
not really. Lot of complaints. 8 minutes of complaints. Yeah, they threatened to sue. Do they have any other type of customer? Of patient? Fucking hell. You talk to a patient for 8 minutes? That doesn't sound good. Were they nice? No. Oh my God, Charlie.
But
Did
you'll,
they,
no.
did they give any threats or anything, or?
No.
Oh, I see. Is the patient the undercover phoning the office? Or is it Sigfredo? I've forgotten about this. I can't remember.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting, but I definitely want you to, I'll tell you about the patient tomorrow, but I wanted to make sure I got that stuff to you. So is that too early for you?
It kinda is, I mean,
Yeah,
I can do it if you want.
The latest, I know.
Oh, it's Donna. I was thinking it was Erica. What is going on here?
I could do it at 9, but that would be the latest, because then we have to get up to Boca and back to Fort Lauderdale in a tight time frame. That's the only reason. And then I know we were leaving at 11.
What time do you have to be at Boca?
We have to get up to Boca and then back to Fort Lauderdale. Yeah, we have piano lessons in Boca, and then we got to get back to Fort Lauderdale for tennis club. So, hoity-toity lifestyle not working out so well. A lot of driving, a lot of traffic.
About 10.
And then when you come back to Fort Lauderdale?
And then I'm having the boys fitted for suits for their first formal.
I think it's 12. I think we have to be tested by 12 or 12:30.
Okay, I was gonna take the photo at 12:30, if you want, I could wait a little bit.
No, the appointment can't be missed. It's with the good tailor, the blind one.
So, you know what? I thought you were leaving at 11. That was the problem.
No, I was going to, I'll leave at 12:31, and I'll wait for you, how's that sound?
So you know what? Yeah, I'll give you a call when we're leaving Boca. How's that? So it'll be definitely after 11. Yeah, I do actually. Yeah, but I'll call you from Boca. When we're on the-
Michelle, Erica is the black lady that is working in the Adelson Institute. She does front desk, and I think she was Charlie's dental assistant as well, yeah. Erica Johnson.
What is that?
Were they real talkative or
Very,
really?
yeah.
That
What did he say? Were they very talkative? Yeah. Were they real talkative or very? Really? Yep. That's interesting too. Yeah, it is. So let me call you from then, so that way I can make sure that the time is good for you, and that's when I'll get to see you, okay?
What is that?
were they real talkative or
Very,
really?
yeah,
That's interesting too.
yeah, it is. So let me call you from then, so that way I can,
Well, it depends what they said. You know, they could have been talkative about the fucking humidity.
make sure that the time is good for you, and that's when I'll get to see you, okay?
Okay, that's awesome. That's actually all very, 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 very good news.
Yeah, it is.
Because that's an excellent sign.
Yeah. So you go, enjoy your evening, say hello to June for me, and I'll give you a call before we leave.
Can I tell you something? Remember that lady I had to get back? Barbara.
Yeah, honey.
Not sure, not to name names, but I had her for a check for $22,000. Barbara Starr.
What is this here?
Can
I tell you something?
Yeah, honey.
Remember that lady I had to give back, Barbara Caffino? Phonetic? What do you mean phonetic? Barbara Caffino is like Bravo Kilo? BK? The BK killer. Do you think they're connected with that? Give back money, sure. Not to name names, but I had to write a check for $22,000. I know. Barbara's daughter, yeah. The daughter, when she got on the phone with me, she was so to the point, yeah. And it was a threat, and it said...
Not to name names, but I had her for a check for $22,000. Barbara Starr.
If you don't by Thursday, return the check, I'm going to my attorney. We're filing a suit and we're going to the Board of Dentistry. Oh, man. I don't think it's normal for dental practice to have so many issues and threats of the Board of Dentistry.
Yeah, the daughter, when she got on the phone with me, she was so to the point, and it was a threat, and it said, if you don't by Thursday, return the check, I'm going to my attorney, we'll file a suit, and we'll go to court next year. That's it. So which way is it going to be? It was literally, she spoke for 20 seconds. So, I mean, that's, anyway, so
Is he drawing a parallel? He's drawing a parallel here, right? He's saying that the way this Barbara Caffino daughter person dealt with him is how they should be dealing with the Latin king. She spoke to me for 20 seconds. She said, if you're either gonna do this check by Thursday or I'm speaking to my attorney, filing suit and going to the Board of Dentistry. You know, no fucking about, no negotiation, just putting it on the table. This is what's going on. These are your two options. You either give me a check by Thursday or right now, or attorney, file suit, Board of Dentistry. He's saying that this is how they should be dealing with the extortionists. So what would they do? They'd say, right, is this the point where he's going to get Katie to say, what is it? He wants Katie to say to the extortionist, my friends, they don't know what you're talking about. And frankly, I don't know what you're talking about, but the name sounds familiar of who's incarcerated, so I'm going to give you something as charity to help the less fortunate. But don't go to these people again, or they're going to the police. That scenario that he gave to Katie is from this. That's where he got the inspiration, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm saying I'm working. She's outside of Johnny B's.
Oh, go ahead.
But I will do this. I will wait, take the boat out, even if my friends are here when you're here. What I'll do is I'll go sit in the car with you and we'll talk and go over the case as long as that.
Man, I can't imagine taking the fucking boat out with all of this hanging over your head. I mean, maybe... I was gonna say maybe that'd give you, like, you know, good headspace out on the water, think clearly, but just imagine all the shit you've got to do to get out on the water. You gotta tie knots and untie knots and you know, steer out of the marina and just do without that. Go on a bike ride.
As the models.
Yeah, I guess
It's
it's
still-
all in that area.
It's not forget the hand pieces I can get.
No, I know. I got them all packed up ready. I will see you tomorrow. Love you.
Sounds good. Let me know.
Bye, sweetheart.
Okay, if we could go to the next day, May 7th, 2016. I'm sorry, that's the same day. We're going from 11. Have I gone to the next day? Yes. Okay, I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Pee-wee? Is that how you say it? Pee-wee Newton? As the son of a cop listening to the recordings, I can tell in first few minutes, deaf cops. Absolutely. I mean, if it hadn't have been Donna that they'd have targeted, I think Harvey or Charlie, you know, the original approach on Alton Road or whatever it is, the in-person where he gave her the newspaper article, the printout, that would have been enough to say, yeah, okay, say hi to the FBI.
DDD is what I'm trying to go to. Yeah.
But I gotta write that down actually, because I want to find out more about that. But I think definitely that the context of Charlie saying the stuff about Barbara Caffini or Caffina, whatever it was, Barbara Caffini, that parallel. He was mentioning that to Donna to say, listen, that's exactly how we should be dealing with this situation. 40 minutes into day 5. Parallel with Katie's script. I like that. We found another piece of treasure.
Hello?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good. I'm on
What's
a
up?
boat. I'm on a boat, but
Are you doing it?
I'm with a bunch of people, but I got a new CD that you can listen to
Uh-huh.
next time I see you.
Okay.
So it's interesting, but it's 100%. 100%.
100% what?
Drop. It's a 100% record break, and then you want to drop the mic.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah,
I
kind
can't
of
wait
shit
to hear it.
you want to play when you're. It's cool. cruising along and you see a Vietnamese hot-bellied pig walking down the
Is
street.
it a long way?
It's, like the track is over.
I thought you used to pay.
The track's long.
I mean, you're old school, you know?
I know, it's just like a long single, 5 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
Lots of coffee.
Wow.
Yeah. 100%.
Did you already replay it aloud to your phone?
I heard
So you
it.
can hear it? Uh-huh.
I heard the track many times. I'm gonna record it. In the background.
Nice.
Oh my God, I didn't even tell you. One of my friends who hot belly pig.
How's the cutest what?
Hot belly pig.
Hot belly pig?
Yeah, you know what a pig is?
Are you serious?
Yeah, they got the cutest hot belly pig. So, anyway,
That's not good.
I know. I like dogs, not pigs.
Yeah. They're hard to maintain.
But anyway, I have
What's the back thing?
as long as they're housebroken, they're not that bad.
Oh, okay.
Hold on.
You can't hear because there's music behind me and it's like.
Sorry. Everyone-
I can't wait to hear them. Your pretty singles.
I know, it's playing in the background right now.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, dropping like it's hot. It's gonna be like one of the funny
Do you think
things. I like ad-libbing. I ad-lib it.
So do you think it's gonna make good hit?
Oh, I think it's fantastic.
Yeah?
Yeah,
You think it'll sell a lot?
I hope so. I dropped the mic.
Oh.
Hi Brian, yeah, this is we did a little live today, but yeah, no, we've been away on business, so we're back now. Welcome back, Brian.
Like out. Like that?
That's funny shit.
Well, one can hear it.
What's that?
One can hear it.
Hold on 1 second. Go ahead and install these two, and then I'll pay you on Monday.
Okay.
All right, I'll talk to you.
Alright then.
Is law enforcement commonly referred to as pigs?
Yes, that's correct.
And this was the last call that I included. Are there several more discussing how sure he is that it is in fact law enforcement after reviewing this call from that the mother made?
Yes.
Okay. And in
Wow, look at his shiny badge. It's like, I think we finally found out what was in Marcellus Wallace's briefcase. It was Pat Sanford's lapel badge. Look at the shine on that thing.
call, he says it's fantastic.
It really goes with his head, doesn't it? He's got a shiny head and a shiny badge. Good job, Pat.
A lot of enthusiastic talk about that realization.
Yes, by him. Yes.
Could we show states 59, please?
Oh, okay.
All right. Anywhere on the wire did the defendant talk about the bump, the interactions with law enforcement, bumps, I should say, with anyone other than Catherine McBanoa or Donna Adelson?
Possibly just his father.
Okay.
Charlie Adelson.
And what about Catherine McBanoa? Does she talk to anyone other than the defendant and Sigfredo Garcia about the bump or the bumps?
No, that's the only two.
Okay. And even after the 100,000% fantastic realization that this was just law enforcement fishing, Does anybody go to law enforcement and report what had happened?
No, they don't.
No further questions.
Cross-examination.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Finally, I feel like Pat Sanford's been on the stand for 2 days straight. Daniel Rashbaum. What is he going to bring to this witness? Any predictions? What could he do? Now, Daniel Rashbaum loves to treat law enforcement as if they're just doing their job and they just made a mistake, right? His whole tactic is to act like he's on the side of law enforcement and say, they did a great job. They worked tirelessly. And, but then they started to guess. They guessed and they didn't know that my client was extorted and that Katie ran her mouth. I mean, God, can you imagine?
We meet again. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Your investigation revealed that Luis Rivera used burner phones in connection with this murder, right?
He used one during the murder, yes.
That he threw away, right?
We don't know what he did with the actual phone, but he quit using it after the murder.
Okay. Sigfredo used burner phones as well, right?
We're aware of him using one during the murder, too.
And you heard about on the wire that he was going to use a burner phone, right? He was going to go get a burner phone.
He talked about getting rid of his phone after he used it.
Right.
Correct.
And so did Catherine Magbanua, right?
I don't remember her saying she was going to get rid of the phone, no.
Do you recall Sigfredo Garcia telling Catherine Magbanua on the wires, we need to go get new phones?
They did go get new phones eventually after we interviewed them.
They went to Walmart to buy 2 phones, right?
Correct. After I interviewed Sigfredo and she was attempted to be interviewed. Correct.
After Sigfredo Garcia was arrested, Catherine Magbanua only used her, to your knowledge, her burner phone, right?
No, she still used both phones, but she used them in very limited capacity.
There's no evidence that Charlie Adelson ever used a burner phone, right?
Not that we were able to establish.
During the wires, he always used the same phone, correct? The cell phone.
Correct, with WhatsApp.
Fair enough. There's no evidence that he ever went and bought a burner phone, right?
I have not collected that evidence of a burner phone. We did have witnesses that we interviewed make reference to him having more than one phone, but we never were able to establish that.
Never were able to corroborate that, right?
No.
And in fact, when he was arrested 8 years after the murder, 6 years after everyone else was arrested, he had the same phone number, right?
I believe he did.
He used that same phone number for more than a decade, right?
That's roughly correct, yes.
Okay. Now, the day before Sigfredo Garcia's arrest, law enforcement went to his place of work and tried to interview him, right?
That's correct, I did.
Did you say you did?
Yes, sir.
And you believe that he lied during the interview, obviously, right?
Yes, sir.
Now, at the same time that Sigfredo Garcia was being interviewed, other law enforcement went to the place where they were living, him and Katie, and knocked on the door and tried to interview her, right?
That's correct.
And she hid, right?
She did.
And you know she hid because you heard on the wires that she was making calls to a lot of people, right?
That's correct.
On all the people that she was calling on the wires, she never calls Charlie Adelson, right? When she's hiding.
While she's hiding, just during that hour-long scenario, I don't believe she did. But I was in Miami. I wasn't monitoring the wire then.
But you have put in all the wires here, so you've reviewed them, right?
Yes, long time ago.
And in reviewing the wires, will you take my representation that she called 3 people and none of them were Charlie Adelson?
Sure, that sounds accurate.
And from the calls that you have reviewed and listened on the wires, it was obvious to her, in fact, she said it on the calls, that the police were outside her house, right?
Correct.
So if she testified before this jury that she had no idea the police were outside her house because they didn't announce themselves, that would be a lie, right?
I believe at the beginning she might not have known. By the end of it, I believe she did know, yes.
Okay. Fair to say at some point when she was hiding in the house, she knew that the FBI and the police, maybe not the FBI, but she knew that law enforcement were at her front door, right?
Yes, I believe she did.
Okay. The next day when Sigfredo Garcia was arrested the next day, right?
That's correct, the next evening.
And when he was arrested, Catherine McBanawa left her townhouse and never with the kids and never came back, right?
No, that's incorrect.
That's incorrect. She
That's so incorrect. And Daniel Rajbaum knows that. I mean, I know that. I mean, what the fuck?
She went back to live in that townhouse?
No, she didn't live in that house the night after we conducted the interview of Sigfredo.
Okay. Then she left?
Yes.
Okay. And she never came back?
Correct.
Fair enough. Law enforcement didn't know where she was for a while,
Well, she came back to pack it up, didn't she?
right?
Correct. She was keeping her phones off. We knew she was still in the state of Florida, but it would give us a brief indication, and then, yes, we didn't know where she was at all times, for sure, or exact location.
You were worried that she had fled, right?
I wasn't worried she fled the state. I knew she had turned her phone off and was eluding us.
Did Charlie Adelson turn off his phone after the arrest?
No, he just stopped using it for quite a significant period. Quit using it regularly, I should say.
Aren't there a lot of calls after the arrest between Charlie Adelson on his phone?
Of insignificance, just like work calls and things like that.
Fair enough.
Right.
But I want to make sure the jury understands he continued to use his phone, right?
He did, in a different capacity, in my opinion.
But he continued to use his phone, Special Agent, right?
Yes, sir, he did.
He didn't get a new phone.
Not that we know of.
He didn't change his number.
Correct.
He went to work.
Correct.
He didn't flee his house.
Not that we know of, no.
Well, when you arrested him 6 years later, was he in the same house?
He was that night, yes.
Okay. You say that night.
Or that morning.
Had he been living in that house pretty much continually for the next 6 years?
I'm aware that he had a couple of different houses. I'm not sure if I don't know if he stayed in that house all the time or not, because I didn't keep tabs on him every day.
Okay, fair enough. But when you went to arrest him, you knew where to go, right?
We found him there, yes.
And you knew where to go because that was his main residence, right?
Correct. It was still his residence of
And
some record.
that had been his residence for the entire time since 2014, correct? I'm not saying he didn't have other residences, but that was the place where he primarily lived, correct?
He still owned the house. I believe on his driver's license he had a different address. He changed it.
Okay. Now, it was made public, the arrest of Rivera and Sigfredo in May 2015, correct? 2016, correct?
Correct. Right after his arrest. Correct.
And Charlie Adelson didn't flee.
Not that I know of.
Well, you didn't have to go on a manhunt for him, right?
Not years later. We didn't look for him immediately right then.
There were news reports, 2020 primetime specials in September 2016. He didn't flee.
Correct. Not that I'm aware of.
There was a probable cause affidavit leaked to the media in September 2016. Are you aware of that?
I am aware of it, yes.
And that probable cause affidavit was over 20 pages long?
I don't recall if that sounds right.
Okay, in a second, Daniel Rashbaum is going to say for the, 18th time, and he didn't flee.
It was very detailed.
It was.
Much of the evidence that came in this courtroom in the last week was in that report, right?
That's correct.
It's day 5, Daniel.
And it was against Charlie Adelson, right?
Some of it was, yes.
And when that was released, he didn't flee, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
Catherine McBanerwell was arrested in October 2016, right?
Correct.
Guess what the ultimate question to this section is going to be? And he didn't flee, right?
He didn't flee, right?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
You know, what is the objection? Cumulative something. Are they allowed to do that on cross? You're allowed to ask leading questions on cross, but I don't think you can just do anything you want. I mean, but George Kaupelman really likes to let Daniel Rashbaum's repetition of weak points that ask the same weak or assert the same weak contention over and over again demonstrate his lack of a point. And he didn't flee, right? And he actually, he was at Skyline Chili that day, wasn't he? And he paid the bill, right? He didn't flee the restaurant?
Sigfredo Garcia was convicted at trial in 2019. Charlie Adelson didn't flee, right?
That's correct.
The state announced its intention to retry Catherine McBain.
And I really think that part of Daniel Rashbaum's personal goal, let's not forget that he is here only for a personal goal. He's not a dumb fuck, although he may appear to be. He knew going into this that there was no fucking way, absent the 1 in a million chance of some rogue jury member granting a mistrial for the fuck of it, absent that 1 in a million chance, there was no way that Charlie Adelson was getting 12 members of his peers, 12 jury members to say no, not guilty, definitely not guilty, not enough evidence. So when Daniel Rashbaum is doing this needless repetition, so he didn't flee, right? And the probable cause affidavit, that was leaked to the media, wasn't it? And he didn't flee? Oh, he didn't flee. And Sigfredo Garcia was convicted, wasn't he? And he didn't flee? Yeah, okay. Yeah, we get it. You know, part of this Apart from boring the fuck out of Pat Sanford. I mean, look at him. Look at him. What's Pat Sanford thinking right now? Not about the case. Part of it is just so he fills out the time, right? So that he looks busy. So that he can say to Donna Adelson, I did everything I could. I pulled out every stop. I gave it my all. And by the way, can I handle the appeal? Or at least the handover and get another 6 weeks billable hours out of this? He's protecting his own future contract. That's all it is. He's not worried about ineffective assistance of counsel or claims against him for that. It's about the next job, right? When he gets convicted, I want another 6 to 8 weeks billable hours so I can hand over the appeal. And if I really look busy, Donna will give it to me because she loves me.
After the jury hung in 2019. Again, he didn't flee, right?
Not that I'm aware of.
And in the months leading up to her trial, he didn't flee, correct?
Correct.
Now, he did travel out of the country many times, right?
I believe so, yes.
And he traveled to some places where extradition is, at least we could say, difficult.
Could be.
Did he?
Oh, sidebar. And we're skipping.
Between Katie and
Oh.
Special Agent, we were talking about the places he went to where extradition was tough. He always came back, right?
Yes.
Now, during the course of your investigation, did you review text messages between Katie and Charlie?
Yes.
And did you learn that Katie wanted a longer, deeper relationship with Charlie as time went on?
I don't know if I recall that. There was a lot of back and forth.
Fair enough. Did you learn that Charlie didn't feel the same way?
I don't know if I recall that either.
Did you see text messages where he said, I don't want to get married, I don't want 2 kids, to that effect?
Possibly that. I mean, it's probably in there somewhere. There was a lot of back and forth between him and other females that I could be getting confused.
Do you recall him talking to a friend in text messages, talking about a trip he was going to take with Katie in the early to midsummer before the murder, where he told his friend it's the goodbye tour?
That sounds familiar.
Did you learn that Katie and Charlie broke up within weeks after the murder?
No. My understanding was possibly right around the time of the murder. I'm not sure the exact timing of it, though.
Fair enough. Now, we listened to a lot of calls. Katie lies to Charlie when she told him that she would call the undercover, right?
Correct.
She lied to Charlie when she told him that she called the undercover and there was no answer.
Correct.
She lied to Charlie when she told him that the undercover number was a non-working number, right?
Correct.
Non-working number would be like in the old days where it goes beep, right?
That's my understanding.
Okay. She lied to Charlie when she said she called the undercover and got an answering machine. When she called the undercover.
Correct. She was not the one to make the call. Correct.
She lied to Charlie when she said she left a threatening message. She left a threatening message
Correct.
on the undercover's voicemail.
Correct.
By the way, Sigfredo Garcia may have called the voicemail, but he didn't leave any message, right?
No, that's correct. He did not.
He didn't leave a threatening message.
No.
Another lie by Katie to Charlie, correct?
Correct. Or by Sigfredo, one of the two.
After her conviction, Catherine Magbanua was sentenced to life imprisonment without the possibility of parole, right?
Correct.
And about a month after she was sentenced, she decided she wanted to cooperate.
I don't know the timing of it.
Fair enough. At some point after her sentencing, she wanted to cooperate, right?
Correct.
And she met with law enforcement at least twice. You were there 2 times.
That's correct.
And you met for hours.
I wouldn't. The first time I think was probably less than an hour, around an hour. The second time I met with her was probably less than an hour.
If I told you the first time was 2 hours and 12 minutes, would you believe me?
That's what it shows of us sitting in the room with her for 2 hours and 12 minutes?
That's what the notes say.
Okay. If that's what the video shows, then...
Fair enough. Nonetheless, you met with her twice.
Okay.
She was placed under oath.
Yes.
Veronica Schneider says, Metrix, you almost gave me a heart attack with your clickbait title earlier. Donna out. Lol. It's okay. I still love your channel. You keep me company while I work so my dog can enjoy a luxurious lifestyle. Well, that's the best kind of lifestyle that there is for a dog. Yeah. Well, you know, I mean, it was a release form with a bail amount set, at least for 2 out of 3 of the offences, with conditions that would be only appropriate for release. I mean, the 2 documents we showed at face value appeared to be release forms. It was only on further inspection. Of course, there would never be a release of Donna Adelson without some serious hearing and etc. conditions and formal discussion. But yeah, the document, the title accurately reflected the document. I'm not in charge of people's interpretations. Anyway, yeah, it was more of an experiment, really.
And we'll start with the first meeting. You believe she continued to lie.
Correct.
You even tried to stop the interview the first time, correct?
I didn't stop the interview. I tried to relay to her that, yeah, it was in her best interest to tell the truth.
You didn't believe her.
I didn't believe a lot of the...
Objection? Say that one more time.
Speculation. You can't give opinions about other witnesses.
Sustained.
Were you frustrated?
Somewhat of some certain things I was, yes.
Was she telling you things? We'll go to your second interview of her. Were you frustrated in the second interview as well?
Yes, I was.
You didn't believe she was being... I'll withdraw. During her second interview, at one point, you said to her, what you are telling us just doesn't make sense. Do you recall telling her that?
That sounds about right.
And this wasn't her first trial when she testified, right? I mean, I know you didn't believe her then, but this was during her proffer.
Correct.
Proffers, right?
Yes.
This was just less than a year ago, right?
I don't remember the date, but that sounds right.
Now, the bump was an extortion, right?
It was a attempted extortion, correct, somewhat.
But what law enforcement didn't know is that an extortion had already happened, right?
Don't believe there was an extortion prior.
What law enforcement didn't understand is that the things said on the recording related to the fact that there had already been an earlier extortion.
I disagree.
Do you recall on the recordings repeatedly Charlie Adelson is talking about the characteristics of the person who did the bump?
Yes.
He's saying things like, he used his phone, he's not disguising himself, he's not giving 48 hours, he's not making a threat. Do you recall that?
I do.
Did it seem like he was comparing it to something else?
To me,
Yes.
it seemed like he was comparing it to a TV show.
Fair enough. Because you don't know what happened on July 18th, 2014, right?
July 18th, 2014.
You don't know what happened on the evening of July 18, 2014 in Charlie Adelson's house, right?
Oh, you're referring to the date of the murder. I know what happened on that day, but not that evening, no.
You don't know what happened in his house that night, right?
Correct.
During the bump, Charlie's way of calming his mom down, a co-conspirator, right? You consider her a co-conspirator.
I do, yes.
Charlie's way of calming down his mom, a co-conspirator, was telling her that he thought it was the police, right?
That was one way, yes.
So let me get this straight. Two people who have just done a murder prefer the bump to be a policeman rather than another co-conspirator or another bad guy.
Correct.
What could this note be? The only people who actually spoke to the undercover was Charlie Adelson and Donna Adelson, correct?
Correct.
And when they spoke to the undercover, they used their phones. Let me be more precise.
Okay.
When Charlie Adelson spoke to the undercover, he used his cell phone.
He used, yes, and he blocked his number when he called, yes.
He star 67 did.
Correct.
He used his cell phone though, correct?
I believe he did. I can't remember the exact
Fair.
dial digits that it came from.
Fair enough. Now, the calls that you put in, you can read the words, but there's some guessing as to the meaning, correct? Of what they're talking about?
It could be, yes.
And Dolce Vita, in particular, you can't hear a lot of what Katie Magbana was saying, correct?
It's hard to hear a lot of it, yes.
There's about 100 unintelligibles when she is speaking, correct?
Correct.
And there's a missing chunk of that meeting before the recording even starts, right?
Correct. They got in the vehicle first and before they went into the restaurant.
And let's talk about them getting in that vehicle.
And that's where Charlie said, was T behind what happened to me.
So before they get to Dolce Vita,
Yeah, all the references to ultimate excuse of I was extorted and Katie took $138,000. All those references to that happened in the car before we were recorded, unfortunately. But they all were said.
Charlie Adelson and Katie Magbana will meet in a car.
He pulls up and she comes out of her office and gets in the car, yes.
How long are they in that car for?
It's an approximation around 10, 15 minutes.
I think you're right. And you don't know what was said in that car, right?
No.
Now, during this bump, you all are listening on the wires, right?
Correct.
And no one's paying the money.
Correct.
And part of what you're hearing is that the threats aren't big enough.
No, I disagree with that.
Okay? Let me ask it this way.
Okay.
It starts with a bump on the street, right?
Right.
And we watched it. The gentleman who's playing Aladdin King, he's a little bit polite. Can we say that?
Correct.
He's the nicest Aladdin King I've ever seen in my life.
Correct. There's reasons.
The next event that happens is, well, there's a bunch of events, but let me tell you the next progression. Is a letter is delivered to Donna and Harvey Adelson's apartment.
Correct.
So now you've gone from the street to the apartment, right?
That's correct.
And the letter is a little more threatening.
A little bit.
And still no one paid.
I don't know if I've actually seen the letter. Has anyone seen the letter that the undercover sent to Donna Adelson?
Correct.
And then there's a couple calls to the office. There's a call to the office.
Correct.
Still no one pays.
Correct.
And then there's a text message that comes at like 2 or 3 in the morning to Donna Adelson, right?
Yes.
And the timing is kind of important, right?
It could be taken that way.
And the text message is definitely more threatening.
Yes.
Now, going to the wires very briefly. Don't worry, I'm not going to go over them all with you.
Thank you.
Do you recall some wires around April 26 where Katie and Sigfredo are fighting?
Of 16, yes.
And some wires that were not played in court. But do you recall that they were fighting about something completely different than this case?
Could have been.
They were fighting about a girl that that Katie found on Sigfredo's cell phone.
Sounds vaguely familiar.
With a tattoo.
I don't remember that part.
And do you recall that the day before, or 2 days before the letter, law enforcement sends the letter to Donna and Harvey Adelson, that Katie actually leaves the house. She leaves him.
I do recall her leaving the house at some point. I don't remember the timing, though.
And the call that Ms. Kappelman played for you, where they're fighting, Sigfredo in the beginning of the call thinks that she's talking about, like he says, you need to make an appointment to see your son. Recall that?
Yes.
And it's because she has just left the house the day before.
Sounds correct.
She's
yes.
left him.
Correct.
And she says to him in the text message, listen, I got to talk to you about something else.
Yes.
You recall that?
I do.
And you recall that Charlie Adelson finds out that these two are having problems, and he freaks out.
I don't remember that. I remember him talking to her about their separation and trying to encourage her.
And he's encouraging her to get back together with him, right?
I do remember that, yes.
By the way, Ms. Kappelman asked you after the last bump text that was received in the early morning by Donna Adelson. She asked you if anyone actually told the undercover, go to the police and collect your reward. You remember her asking you that question?
I thought that was before that text message.
Well, let's just make this clear, whether it's
Okay.
before or after.
Okay.
Isn't it true that that's precisely what Miss Adelson, Donna Adelson, told the undercover? If you have information, go to the police,
She did at that point. That's correct.
right? That's what she said.
On that call.
Now, she didn't want to go to the police. She never went to the police, right?
Correct.
Charlie never went to the police.
No.
And you don't know why. You guess why, but you don't know why.
There's reasonable belief, yes.
But you don't know why he didn't go to the police.
Can't read his mind, no.
May I have one moment, Your Honor?
Time?
Looking at those text messages, by the way, after the night of July 18th, do you see a decrease in text messages initially? So if you're looking at July to September between Charlie Adelson and Catherine Magbanua,
A decrease in text messages. About 2014.
yeah, initially.
I'd have to go back and look. I don't recall.
Do you see that the relationship, though, as time goes on, gets stronger? Not boyfriend, girlfriend, but does definitely get stronger.
I don't recall.
Now, I want to just make sure that something
Was that microphone not on? I said, hello, pariah. How you doing, pariah? Good to see you, pariah.
was clear yesterday because I think it was a little confusing. And I don't think it was on purpose, but I want to make sure that the facts are clear.
Sure.
That's what Daniel Rashbaum is here to do, guys. Clean facts.
After Professor Markel was murdered, Wendy Adelson gave complete access to the Markels. Isn't that true? Until the email was sent.
I don't know about complete access, but I know when that email was sent, there were things that were cut off.
Fair enough. But before the email was sent, there was a different type of access.
There was better access. I could say that.
Do you recall, and you know what, let me set it up first. It might take a second, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Especially with me and technology. Oh, no, you've already called. It's SX 130. It's your exhibit 130. It's one of the wires. Call 989.
It's about 10 minutes left of Pat Sanford. Then we're moving on to, I think it's Wendy Adelson's lawyer, Kristen, who's going to be...
Fucking A, bro. I'm gonna fucking fuck up whoever the fuck you fucking with me.
Oh, thank you, Kyle, for the coffee. By the way, guys, we got to get a new coffee soundbite because we're done with Katie. It's a new day. It's a new day. Let's move on. It was good. We liked it. It gets old. But thank you so much for the coffee, Kyle, or Pariah. Yeah, Wendy Adelson's attorney in the, what do you call it? Divorce case. Kristen.
Hold on one second, Your Honor. Do you recall the Dave call?
Which one?
The first call I think that was played yesterday. It was a call about Charlie and Donna's affection for Dave.
Sure. I remember several of them, but
And do you recall that Miss Kappelman played 19 minutes and 11 seconds of that call? And then she stopped it.
I don't recall how much or when, but that's possible, yes.
Well, let me play when it was stopped.
Okay.
If I just play it, is it going to go on this thing?
Good call, Patricia Burns. I like it. Judge Everett would be good for coffees. Well, certainly when we're covering Adelson cases. Well, I'm trying to think of a nice, just a short one-liner that Judge Everett would say. Something about a red velvet cake. What does he say? And if any member of the jury bought a red velvet cake without enough to share, powers of contempt will be exercised. Just powers of contempt will be exercised. That's the one.
Sorry. And while we work on this, we do a test before I ask a question.
Go ahead.
But make money. They already have their kids.
Okay. Did it work in the headphones? No. All right. Well, I think we can hear it. It's pretty loud. Let's see if we can hear it. I'm going to play you at 20 minutes and 20
Looking
seconds.
to make a whole. Want to make money. They already have their kids. I'm not looking to make a whole.
She owes it to those kids.
Yeah, but
She has an opportunity that she would throw in the garbage, and then these kids, and believe me, that's it. They're not going to have another
No.
dad.
No. Well,
And
it was
crazy.
listen. They had a dad. It was a tragedy. What happened?
Yeah. Well,
What I'm
here's an
telling you.
opportunity.
So there, 20 minutes and 25 seconds into the call, about 2 minutes after Miss Kappelman stopped it. Charlie Adelson says it's a tragedy what happened to their dad, right?
Yes, he did.
And that was in response to his mom saying Dave would be a great dad, right?
Correct.
And Charlie says they already had a dad and it was a tragedy what happened to him.
He did.
When Charlie Adelson said that on this call, that was stopped before this jury, when he said that on that call, that's before the bump.
I believe it was, yes.
That's 21 months after the murder.
Correct.
He had no idea whatsoever that he was being recorded.
I would probably disagree with that.
But the other stuff, remember yesterday she brought in other stuff about Dave and she asked you those same questions. She said this is before the bump. You recall her asking you that?
Yeah, it was before the bump.
And she said it.
Memberships have changed, Angel Baby, so that they're reflective, that they're the same as the memberships on Patreon and on buymeacoffee.com, and the benefits are all the same and the packages are the same. But to do that, I had to remove the old memberships. But the good news is that everybody got a refund. Yay! But if you want to become a member again, you can on YouTube, Buy Me a Coffee, or Patreon. They're near enough all the same, but buymeacoffee.com is the best one that there is, I think. But if people want those loyalty badges next to their name in the live chat, they got to go for the YouTube package, available at memberships, YouTube memberships. So yeah, that's something that's changed. I'm going to do an update about all the things that have changed soon, guys, but we're just picking it back up after our week off hiatus.
It was almost 2 years after the murder.
Correct.
I'll leave it at that, Agent. No further questions.
Redirect examination.
Point being, 2 years after the murder, they're still screwing around in Wendy's love life. Is that what happened?
That is correct.
All right. A couple other things. You were asked about, Mr. Rashbaum referred to it as the goodbye tour. I recalled it as the farewell tour, but you know what we're talking about, the breakup trip between Catherine Magbanua and this defendant?
Early July, I believe.
Okay. Is it your recollection that that was the end of that actually was the end of their relationship, or is there evidence that they continued seeing each other for some time after that?
I believe there was a little bit of, I believe there was some seeing after that.
Okay, would the text messages refresh your recollection on that
They
issue?
would.
Okay.
They would. It's been a while.
I tab these for you to take a look and see if the blue tabs refresh your recollection.
Okay. Okay.
Does that refresh your recollection?
Yes.
So when does it appear that Catherine Magbanua and the defendant broke up?
And it appears like in August, around August 25th,
Around August 25th of 2014?
2014.
All right, and did they continue to stay in contact to varying degrees throughout the time from their breakup to the arrest in this
Yes,
case?
they did.
Did you have an opportunity during your investigation to conduct any surveillance on Catherine Magbanua and Sigfredo Garcia?
Yes, we did.
All right. And did you... Well, let me ask you if you've ever worked on or heard of a case where an extortionist commits their crimes wearing a fake Abe Lincoln beard and a floppy hat.
No, I'm not.
Did you ever observe Catherine Magbanua or Sigfredo Garcia dressed like that?
No, I didn't.
No further questions.
You may step down, Agent.
That was a whole thing in Charlie's line of questioning when he was asking Donna about the undercover. He was like, he didn't have a beard and glasses or anything? He wasn't wearing a hat?
Please call your next witness, State. Please call your next witness.
Your Honor, at this time, the state rests.
Members of the jury.
Wow, what a moment. What a moment. The state rests. That's their case. That is their case made against Charlie Adelson in the trial of the first-degree murder of Professor Markel. Now it's the defense's turn with what? I think... well, there's Charlie as a witness. And, well, they've got Wendy's lawyer up here. I think that's it. I can't remember anyone else.
Going to take a break at this point. The bailiff will escort you back into the jury room.
Look at him. What a class act. Miss Myers looks like she's got something to say. He's still not sorted his tie out.
Defense have any motions to raise at this point?
We do, Your Honor. Your Honor, we renew all previous motions and objections for the record, and we would move for judgment of acquittal.
As to which charge or charges?
All three, Your Honor.
We want an acquittal. We're not telling you why. You have to guess. Can we have an acquittal?
As to the first count, principal to first-degree murder, the evidence presented reflects no contact between Mr. Adelson or any members of the Adelson family, no substantive contact, and the shooters. The only direct evidence of Mr. Adelson's involvement came from Catherine Magbanua. She testified that Mr. Adelson...
How's that? We just watched the whole Dolce Vita recording. The only direct evidence was from liar, convicted murderer Catherine Magbanua.
And I believe at Halloween asked her to rough up Professor Markel, and that at some point a piece of paper was placed in an envelope in her diaper bag that she never read. She testified she didn't know about the trips to Tallahassee, and she didn't even know that Professor Markel had been shot as of July 18th. So I don't believe that there's sufficient evidence to go to the jury on the element of whether Mr. Adelson did or said anything to cause.
She really doesn't even believe her own words. I mean, she can't even... She's trying to stitch together some sort of coherent motion to say we need an acquittal because the state, they didn't prove anything. And she just can't find it herself. And all that she's been doing all through the state's case, 3.5 full days, is sitting there taking notes on how to give this outline to the judge when the time comes, right?
Or assist another to commit the actual murder. On the conspiracy to commit murder, Your Honor, again, there's no evidence of any agreement or any contact between the Adelsons and the shooters. The evidence from Mr. Rivera is that Katie Magbanua was the mastermind, and at most, again, as I said earlier, Ms. Magbanua's testimony reflects really that there was this request in October to rough up Professor Markel. And on the solicitation point, Your Honor, make the rest of the same arguments.
Response?
Just one correction on that recitation of facts, Your Honor. Catherine Magbanua testified or clarified her testimony that she didn't know the person who was shot was named Dan Markel, but she did know that she was solicited by and conspired with this defendant to commit the murder of Wendy Adelson, his sister's ex-husband, which was done.
And applying the standard which the court must at this point, which is the evidence must be viewed in the light most favorable to the state, the motion for judgment of acquittal is going to be denied. As to all prior motions and objections that the defense is once again raising, that is noted for the record. Does the defense need a brief break to discuss its case before we bring back in the jurors?
Yes, we will, Your Honor.
All right, we'll take a 10-minute break. Actually, we'll make it a 13-minute. Just wait in the gallery for right now. You may call your first witness.
Your Honor, the defense calls Kristen Adamson.
I know it's unfamiliar, but all the way up here, Ms. Adamson. Please raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth? You may take your seat.
Good afternoon, Ms. Adamson.
Good afternoon.
Would you please introduce yourself to the jury?
I'm Kristen Adamson, and I'm attorney at law. I was Wendy Adelson's lawyer in her dissolution of marriage action.
Where did you attend law school?
I attended law school at Florida State University. I graduated in 1988.
Are you a member in good standing of the Florida Bar?
I am.
Do you specialize in any areas of practice?
I do. I specialize in marital and family law. I'm board certified since 1994, I think, in marital and family law by the United States, by the Florida State Supreme Court. I also am a fellow in the American Academy of Matrimonial Lawyers, former president of the Florida chapter. I'm a fellow in the International Academy of Family Law Lawyers. I have been
So you pay a membership then?
named a Florida super lawyer in family law and best lawyers in America since 2008, specifically Tallahassee Best Family Law Lawyer in 2012.
Yeah, I was on the cover of Time magazine for the best family lawyer in the Western Hemisphere. 3-time Golden Lawyer of the Year winner.
And 2021.
You mentioned earlier that you are a board certified lawyer. What does that mean exactly?
To be board certified, the Florida Supreme Court promulgates a list of criteria that you have to become board certified in a specialty area. And you have to pass a test, both written and oral, and a peer review by your peers and the court as well. And you have to pass all three of those things in order to become board certified.
You mentioned in your introduction that you were Wendy Adelson's attorney in her divorce proceedings against Professor Markel. When were you retained?
I was retained, I think, approximately October of 2012.
Did there come a time during your representation of Wendy Adelson that you filed a motion to allow her to relocate to South Florida?
I did. I filed that motion almost immediately after I was retained. I filed an amended petition for dissolution of marriage to request that she be allowed to relocate, and a temporary motion that she be allowed to relocate. So that would have been in 2012.
Is there anything wrong with asking the court for permission to relocate?
No, it's especially in Tallahassee, because it is kind of a transitory community with the college and everything. It's fairly common for when people get divorced for one party to want to relocate somewhere else, either back where their family is, or they graduate from school and they want to move to someplace else because of a job, or they remarry. We do file these relocation requests fairly often.
In Leon County, in your experience, how often are such motions granted?
So that is the kicker. Even though we file them, I have now been practicing 35 years, and I think I've only actually won one that was allowed to relocate. They're very hard to do, and you have to have pretty serious circumstances that require the relocation.
Did you share that statistic with Ms. Adelson?
I did. I thought she had a shot at it because of all the facts surrounding her case, but I did tell her that.
What facts were those? So this super family lawyer, thought that Wendy Adelson had a shot at the relocation, which is extremely hard to achieve, because of the facts surrounding her case. What facts were those? Nothing is leaping off the page at me. I can't think of a single one. I thought she had a shot at it because of the facts surrounding her case. I mean, we know how they were intending to present it. They were intending to present it as that the children would have better opportunities, and that Wendy would have more money, and that they would be close to their extended family. That was it. I don't see how any of those factors would elevate this case above any other standard case, right? Those are all very basic, weak arguments to get something that's so difficult granted.
It's very unlikely that we'll win this.
No,
but
well,
I did tell her that if you do plan to relocate or want to relocate, you need to do it now in this initial proceeding and not wait until everything's over and then ask. So we made that tactical decision to at least attempt to relocate.
And what was her reaction to that?
She wanted to be able to try, so we did. We filed the motion for relocation.
Was that motion ever heard by the court presiding over her divorce?
Yes, it was. We filed it and we set it for hearing for any number of reasons. The hearings kept getting, the legal proceedings take a long time sometimes and things get complicated. It kept getting pushed off, but ultimately, I think it was around June of 2013 that we had a hearing about that relocation issue.
And what was the court's ruling?
The court said no, she could not go.
What was Wendy Adelson's reaction to the court's ruling?
She was pretty.
That question calls for hearsay, Your Honor.
Ms. Adelson, you may testify to what you recall about what you observed from your client, but not your actual words.
So she was pretty calm about the whole thing. She seemed to understand that it was not a given that it would happen, that it's usually a long shot. And I spoke with her afterwards, right after.
There are memberships, Michelle, they've just changed, and in order to change them, the old ones had to be removed. But everybody was refunded their their spend for the month.
After the proceeding, and then I spoke with her several times afterwards to sort of decompress, and she seemed fine about it. She understood.
Okay.
Pretty resigned to the idea of it.
Okay. There's been some testimony in this case that in the wake of that denial, the Adelson family was considering offering Professor Markel a certain sum of money, $1 million, to allow Wendy Adelson and the boys to relocate to South Florida. Are you aware of that offer?
No.
Okay. In your experience, have you ever heard of one spouse making a monetary offer to another spouse to allow for things like relocation?
Objection, relevance.
Your Honor, the state has...
So that's a fairly common occurrence for relocations, and I actually just had one a couple of weeks ago where that's exactly what happened. Was the husband of the new husband of a woman who wanted to relocate basically paid my client to allow her to be able to relocate. I've also had people, it shouldn't be the case that money and children are connected, and we've tried hard to not have that happen, but it does happen sometimes. I also often have one say, if you allow us to relocate, you never have to pay child support. All kinds of those kinds of money things do get offered, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't.
Is there anything illegal about one spouse making an offer to another spouse?
Okay, pound for pound. Okay. I want to see Miss Myers in an Aerosmith t-shirt.
As far as I know.
Okay. At some point, was Professor Markel and Ms. Adelson's divorce case mediated?
We mediated it.
And this Heather Locklear features in Wayne's World, or is it Claudia Schiffer? But this woman's hair is like either one of those women. I mean, it's almost like this is a Saturday Night Live spoof of the 1992 classic Wayne's World.
Twice. We mediated.
And Katie McBanower could be Cassandra. Oh, let's bring up a picture of Cassandra. Yeah, here she is doing a bottle service. Okay, apart from the slight Asian features between McBanower and Cassandra, there's not that much else. But you know what I mean.
Did it once before the hearing on the parenting, and that mediation was just about the relocation and the ability to go, and we were not successful in mediating that, so we had the hearing. Then we mediated.
Yeah. Do you remember her in True Lies a cappella?
It again in July of 2013, and that was also an impasse. It was sometime in the around July 20s, 21 maybe, something like that. But then we settled the case a week later, because that happens sometimes. I tell my clients this all the time: just because we haven't settled it at mediation doesn't mean it's over. We continued to have discussions and conversations during that last week.
Yeah, just because we settled it at mediation doesn't mean I stop billing you. It's not over. We've still got photocopying to do, and we're going to send out a batch email.
Until we finally settled the case.
Okay, so there was no trial.
There was no trial.
There was a marital settlement agreement entered. Do you recall the date?
It was the end of July 2013, right? 2013, yeah. It's a long time ago, sorry.
Without getting into words spoken, what was your impression of Wendy Adelson's reaction to the settlement of the divorce case?
She was very relieved. Most people are when you settle their cases.
Did you continue to represent Wendy into 2014?
I did.
Do you recall that in February of 2014, Professor Markel filed a motion seeking to sanction Wendy and you?
He did.
Do you recall what Professor Markel was claiming, the substance of that motion?
The substance of that motion was in response to a motion that I had filed in October of 2013 when he did not pay her or me the money that he was supposed to pay according to our marital settlement agreement. He only paid.
I'd completely forgotten about Kim Basinger's character. Christina, thank you for that. You see, the hair's, I mean, it looks a lot better on Kim, right? But this lady with the kind of, I mean, what do we call that? The twirly blonde hairstyle. I mean, this is the poor man's Kim Basinger for sure. But, I mean, is it slightly leaning in that direction? I don't know if I can go that far.
Part of it, and he didn't pay the rest of it, and he didn't pay me, and this was just about the financial part. It had nothing to do with the children. So I filed a motion to enforce. It took him several, the day that I filed that motion to enforce, his lawyer that he had at that time withdrew, and he obtained a new lawyer. So that new lawyer and I talked about these issues for quite a while, and ultimately what happened was Mr. Markel filed this response, and he claimed that Wendy and I had committed fraud in obtaining that marital settlement agreement by hiding an asset.
Do you recall what relief he was seeking?
Several things he was seeking. He was basically saying that he shouldn't have to pay Wendy because she breached the contract, and one good breach deserves another, I guess is what his theory was. And second, that both Wendy and I should be disbarred.
Okay. Were you concerned about the substance of Professor Markel?
This is a defense witness. Why? I mean, what she just said in particularly lends itself to motive, right? It's a bit similar from why Donna Adelson's defense attorneys don't want Stephen Webster to testify in Donna's trial, because, well, the real reason is that Stephen Webster will testify as to how pissed and how not going to let it go Professor Markel was with the motion against Donna's right to continue to enjoy unfettered access to the grandchildren, and insist that she only be permitted to contact or visit or spend time with the boys with courtroom supervisors. They dress it up another way, but that's the real reason. Why is this lady a defense witness?
Markel's allegations in that motion?
No.
Objection.
Sorry.
Relevance, move to strike.
Sustained. Disregard the last comment from the witness. You may move on.
What was your view about the likelihood of success in your experience of that motion and of getting disbarred and of Wendy Adelson being disbarred as a result of that motion?
Objection, relevance.
Your Honor.
Approach.
love the suit, Georgia. Hey, thanks so much, Christine Schweinsberg, for the super sticker or chat. Whatever it is, it's fantastic. Thank you, Christine. Yeah, True Lies is where Jamie Lee Curtis and Tia Carrere are fighting each other on top of a speeding limousine across the Florida Keys bridges that have been blown up. I mean, it's... And then Arnold Schwarzenegger comes down, hanging from the... what do you call it? The the feet of the helicopter. You know, the runners? I don't know what are those called? Where's our man Harley D, aviation expert? He'd tell us in a flash. Arnold Schwarzenegger is hanging from the foot of the helicopter and picks Jamie Lee Curtis up by the hand just as the limousine goes off the, severed bridge that's been blown up. And Tia's still sitting, poking out of the sunroof. I mean, what a scene. What a great movie.
During this motion, I basically told my client that I wasn't concerned about the legal ramifications of this, either regarding the claim of the fraud, because I know we had covered that really well in our discovery process and we had litigated it, and I was not concerned about that. I was not concerned about, so much so that I was not concerned at all about any ethical issues that I might have had with the bar and or Ms. Adelson either. I was not concerned.
Do you recall that Professor Markel, or his attorney on his behalf, filed another motion in March of 2014?
So in March of 2014, well after the first motion that was just about the property, he filed a motion that made some additional claims for why he shouldn't have to abide by the payment. And these claims started talking about the children. And he made, and I don't remember all of the claims, but they were basically the substance was that he should be allowed more electronic communication with his children that he was getting, and that
yeah, I'd like more communication, electronic communication, and also during the electronic communication, I would like to, for the children to eat bacon less. Wendy Adelson, time to Skype with Arbor. Here's your plate of bacon with a big pile of just bacon. Eat that in front of the camera and let him watch. Let Arbor watch you eat that bacon so that he knows we won. Just, what a sick individual.
Ms. Adelson's mother should have supervised visitation only with her grandchildren because of statements that he thought that she might be making to the children.
Did you communicate your thoughts on this motion to Ms. Adelson?
Yes, I did.
And what were those thoughts?
So I told her, as far as the electronic communication, I wouldn't worry about that too much because we already had a marital settlement agreement that outlined everybody's rights and obligations, and there had been no real changes on that. So, and the judge had actually already ruled on that kind of issue in 2013 at one of our hearings. We had a couple of hearings. So I wasn't really worried about that because they were kind of already set out what everyone should be doing, and I didn't see that there had been any changes that would make the court make any changes to that agreement. And then as far as the grandmother, I also told her that these kinds of allegations, while they're not nice or fun, they're pretty run-of-the-mill, and lots of people after they get divorced don't get along very well, and there's extended.
That's Donna's address, isn't it, Veronica? As is listed on her. Is that like a district of Miami? Brickell. She's on Brickell Avenue, isn't she? Yeah, Brickell Avenue, 2127. Yeah, I think I know the scene that you mean. The one where Art Malik jumps out of the window and steals a motorbike, and Arnold Schwarzenegger chases him on a horse. What a movie! What a great movie.
Families don't get along that well, but I wouldn't think that the judge would order supervised visitation based on these kinds of allegations, because supervised visitation is for pretty extreme cases. For example, I've had people who have maybe multiple DUIs and shouldn't be allowed to be with children because it's an unsafe situation, or I have had people who were abusive and they can't be with the children, so they have to be supervised. Basically what happens when people aren't talking nice, and I didn't know if it was actually true or not, but it was an allegation he made, aren't talking nice about it, what we try to do is just have conversations with the judge, and the judge might say, okay, everybody be nice, and that's it. I wasn't worried about that issue.
Okay. Did there come a time in the divorce and post-divorce proceedings when you filed a motion to withdraw?
I did.
Do you recall when that was?
Right. So we had those first two motions. They were odd.
And by first two motions, just to
the ones that we just talked about. We had the first motion where he said it was okay for him to breach because she breached. And then we had the next one about the kids.
Mute button. Hey, what do we call that color, Michelle? Is that what we call strawberry blonde? Or is it something else?
And all of that. And then he filed a memorandum. I believe it was in May or June. I think May of 2014. And it was a long, detailed memorandum of law that had a lot more facts in it. And I realized at that point in time that I was probably going to have to be a witness in this case because of what he was saying about me in the memorandum and the motions. And I can't be a witness and a lawyer in the same case by the Florida ethical rules. So I withdrew because I knew I would have to take a different role.
You spoke about a lot more facts in this memorandum. Did the view of the motions that you conveyed to Wendy Adelson change as a result of the memorandum, other than the fact that you had to withdraw?
No, it was just kind of reinstating all of the same kinds of things, but it was a lot more vehemently with a little bit different language. It kept upping the ante, and that's when I realized this was not going to be something that we were going to be able to probably resolve without a court hearing, because I had been trying to do that with his lawyer. So I was going to have to do that. So I moved to withdraw, and I called another lawyer and asked him if he would please step in my place.
Okay. Did you seek to withdraw because you felt you did something wrong?
No, it was only.
Has anybody worked out why this woman is a defense witness yet?
Because I knew I was going to have to testify in the case, and that was the only reason.
And you mentioned you contacted another lawyer. Did Wendy Adelson ultimately retain that other lawyer?
She did.
And do you recall when she did that?
I know that he filed a notice. I filed a motion to withdraw, and then the court granted my order within a few.
Paul M. says, this downplaying of Dan's legal efforts by Wendy and her lawyer is pathetic. Are they trying to make out there was no motive? Well, that's what I've been trying to work out. I mean, to me, it seems to hurt his case. It seems to suggest and demonstrate motive. Great job, Rashbaum.
Few days of that, and I believe he, which was in end of May-ish, I think, and then he came in the first part of June, I believe.
Okay, so days before what has been talked about in this case is the first attempt, Ms. Adelson retained a new attorney to represent her in the ongoing proceedings with Professor Markel?
She did.
One additional question, Your Honor. Can I have a moment?
Take your time.
And it is actually only one. There's been some discussion in this case, some testimony concerning telephone calls on the morning of May 2nd.
Okay.
Whether those telephone calls related to a motion to compel and a notice of hearing filed by Professor Markel's attorney on his behalf. And again, the testimony related to calls on the morning of May 2nd. Can you tell the jury, showing you a portion of State's Exhibit 56?
Okay.
This is the notice of hearing that was filed, you can see, on May 2nd, 2014. Can you tell the jury what time?
It looks like it was filed at 3:14:48. They've got the seconds on there. PM.
Okay. And the motion to compel? What time was this filed?
3:14:48 PM as well.
Okay. And just to be extra clear, just 3:14 in the afternoon or morning?
It's PM, so it's afternoon. Yeah.
I have nothing further now.
Cross-examination.
To publish defenses, demonstrative. What number is this?
I think it's demonstrative B.
B, Your Honor.
You may.
Okay, so on May 2nd, 2014, I know you're not familiar with this exhibit, but if these calls occurred at, we're going to have some clicking here, clicking assistance.
fucking A, bro. I'm gonna fucking fuck up whoever the fuck you fucking with me.
Goddamn mute button. Oh. I was just saying that every time I think I'm bored of this trial, Georgia Kappelman comes back and impresses me with her hair. And I wonder how that feels, you know. I mean, surely she must know, right, that she has the best hair in the entire room. Let's go through each and every one of them individually. Okay, starting on the left. Nope, 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 nope. Georgia Kappelman. She even looks like that's what she's thinking right now. I am Georgia Kappelman, the woman with the best hair in the room. And Sarah Dugan's sitting there thinking, I'm Sarah Dugan, the woman with the second best hair in the room. And it's a pretty long way down to third place, in my opinion. Head and shoulders above all. Georgia Kappelman, the best hair in the room. Then we've got this. She shouldn't have even been allowed in. Look at Georgia Kappelman. She's acting professional, but she's really laughing at Miss Meyer's hair. You know what she's thinking? She's thinking, I'm Georgia Kappelman, the woman with the best hair in the room. And a suit that's so white, it's almost blue.
How many advanced degrees does it take to change a light bulb?
The whole room's laughing at you, Miss Myers, and not just because of how you look, in your inability to bring up a document.
We didn't have computers. That is true.
Lee Abbey. Welcome, Lee Abbey. Do you think that Judge Everett has an afro wig? Like those guys on the Fat Boy Slim video, Funk Soul Brother. Oh, I bet he does. I bet he does.
You were asked about a filing, or two filings that were made on May 2nd. If the
Judge Everett's just got one of those faces that you know looks good with any hat he wears, but I think the same would be true, absolutely, about a huge afro wig.
The phone calls in question occurred well into the afternoon hours. It would have been after that filing. Would you agree with that?
I have no idea.
I think you do, because I think you were shown the documents and asked about the time of the filings.
I know about the filings, yes.
Okay, so if the calls occurred into the late afternoon, we have it now 3:15, 3:49, 3:54, all of those times, 3:56, 4:39, 4:55, would have been after those filings. Would you agree
that would
with
appear to be correct.
Okay, thank you. And were you familiar with Professor Markel's practice of emailing Wendy prior to making these filings and basically laying out the whole thing in an email? This is what I'm going to do. If you don't comply, I'm going to make this filing. Were you privy to those emails?
Sometimes.
Evan, hello. How you doing, Evan?
Stay, Ms. Kappelman, if you can go through that with the witness.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Your Honor?
Foundation.
Okay, were you privy to emails from Professor Markel to your client Wendy Adelson?
No. This being the first trial that we've been granted the privilege of having face-on cameras for the lawyers at the podium, particularly with Georgia Kaplan. I mean, look at her. What an angel. It makes me wonder whether she made this many facial expressions during the 2 previous trials. I mean, I suppose so, but how do we know? We don't.
55 would have been after those filings. Would you agree
That would
with
appear to be correct.
Okay, thank you. And were you familiar with Professor Markel's practice of emailing Wendy prior to making these filings and saying, basically laying out the whole thing in an email? This is what I'm going to do. If you don't comply, I'm going to make this filing. Were you privy to those emails?
Sometimes.
Stay, Ms. Kappelman, if you can go through that with the witness.
I'm sorry, what did you say, Your Honor?
Foundation.
Okay, were you privy to emails?
We just got treated to about 58 independent facial expressions, and all of them were great.
From Professor Markel to your client Wendy Adelson, previewing the filings before he made them.
Same objection, Your Honor.
Overruled. She's trying to lay the foundation now.
I'm aware of that he did that on occasion. Yes.
Okay, and do you know whether he did that in reference to the May 2nd filing?
I have no idea.
All right. And the case you talked about where you recently had somebody buy out their former spouse's rights to their children, basically, relocate for money, relocation for hire. How much money did that person, how much money was exchanged for that relocation?
That was not $1 million, but it was basically when we did all of the child support and everything that would have been paid, it turns out to be somewhere probably around $200,000.
Okay. If what was alleged in Professor Markel's motion about Wendy having lied and hidden assets and all that, if she had taken those actions, that could have had serious consequences to her personally.
I mean, never mind what I was saying about what has Wendy's ex-lawyer been called as a witness for. She seems to be demonstrating a motive. I mean, just look what they've opened themselves up to with Cross. Just want to hear that question again.
It turns out to be somewhere probably around $200,000.
Okay. If what was alleged in Professor Markel's motion about Wendy having lied and hidden assets and all that, if she had taken those actions, that could have had serious consequences to her personally as well as her law license. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
You described, I'm sure you were referring to different parts of the case, but you referred to the case as run-of-the-mill and you referred to it as odd. Was this a particularly contentious or memorable case for you, or was it run-of-the-mill?
So those are two separate statements, I think. I think that the quibbling about the children was run-of-the-mill. I think the case was odd.
Okay. How much, I guess in general, would you agree that divorces come with high emotions?
Yes.
And do clients always take your advice?
No.
Do clients always chill out when you tell them this is nothing to worry about?
No.
Did you have any contact with Donna Adelson, the mother of Wendy Adelson, in reference to Wendy's divorce?
The only time I had any communication with Wendy's mother was at the relocation hearing that we had in June of 2013.
Did Donna testify at the relocation hearing?
She did not.
All right, so is it fair to say your contact with her was almost nothing?
Yes, she and her husband were at the hearing, and my contact with them was minimal.
All right. And so have you had an opportunity to review Donna Adelson's emails?
Sorry, I forgot Kim Basinger was still up here. I'll get her out of the way. See you later, Kim.
To Wendy in reference to this divorce, and in particular your representation?
I have not.
No further questions.
Redirect examination.
Very briefly,
Yeah, I figured very briefly. In fact, we shouldn't have even called her. Evan raises an interest. Is it Evan? Yeah. Evan says, I think this lawyer dodged a bullet when Dan was murdered. She was going down too, just like Wendy. Well, I think that Professor Markel would have let it go if they'd decided to be fair and play ball and, just come to an agreement. I mean, I think that's all he wanted. I've heard a similar opinion too before, where it was like Dan wanted to go after the Adelsons to punish them, would have exposed things about their money practices and possible tax fouls, for want of a better word, that he may have known about. And I'm not sure that's really true. I think it was I think his stance with Wendy's law license, etc., was an honest threat, but and would have been used if necessary. But I think he ultimately would have preferred to just, come to an agreement, a settlement before it got to that level. It was leverage, Why wouldn't you use leverage? If someone is treating him so unreasonably, you get every leverage you have, right? But it was Dan that put forward the what is it called? There's a term for it. I don't remember the legal term for it, but it's something like, we're even if we don't get on, there will be mutual respect, and we're going to be put our differences aside and treat each other like respectable adults for the sake of the children. We're not going to, what's the word? There's a legal term I don't remember. I mean, I just think he wanted a fair deal and was willing to compromise on certain things, not on others. But the Adelsons were raping him. I mean, yeah. So we don't know if this lawyer dodged a bullet or not. I mean, I don't think the Adelsons were willing to compromise on anything. So I guess if they hadn't have killed him, it would have gone to the courts, and yeah, perhaps she would have lost her license. But they did kill him, so lucky her.
It's okay.
You were very brief on Shelby's presentation on cross-examination. Is this call in the morning of May 2nd? Is this call in the morning of May 2nd? See the timestamp in the upper right?
I do. So 12 a.m. is morning, 12 p.m. is noon, right? It's always one of those ones that my husband always says we should use military time. I think it's 12 a.m. means morning, right? Right after, yeah, okay.
How about 9:10 in the morning?
Yes,
9:25 in the morning?
yes.
So on?
Yes.
5 in the morning? And you were asked on this cabinet if Wendy had done
The things that Professor Markel accused her of, failing to disclose assets and such, whether that would have been a serious matter, correct?
Yes.
Were you aware of Wendy Adelson failed to disclose assets in the context of the divorce proceeding?
No, she didn't. And in particular, the particular asset that he was talking about, it was a non-marital asset of hers. And it was, her parents had given to her, and she basically took it back, but we showed him the whole paper trail of it. And his argument was kind of an esoteric legal argument about why it should be his and part of the marital estate. So it was kind of weird. And when I say the case was odd, what I mean it's odd for the opposing party to make claims against me to want me disbarred as well as his wife. So that was what was odd about the case, and I remember it because that doesn't happen in my cases. But that was.
Yeah, it doesn't happen in cases that you're not conned into. I mean, we know Wendy Adelson's manipulative prowess, right? It is her modus operandi to just make people do things and not even know why they're doing them. I can only imagine what kind of tactics she laid on this woman to get her to perform as she perhaps did, with unclean hands, allegedly.
The arguments that he was making, and we several times, it was one specific retirement account, so several times we gave him the documents that he requested. It just never was what he wanted.
Okay, no further questions, Your Honor.
You may step down.
Thank you.
If the attorneys can approach.
Attorneys can approach. Thank you, Evan, for the very nice super chat. Evan says, leverage is the perfect word. Dan shot arrow over bow. I don't believe I've heard that expression before. What does that mean? Arrow over bow. I gotta look that up. What the hell does that mean? Shoot arrow over bow. To shoot an arrow over bow refers to the process of firing an arrow from a bow. It involves placing the arrow against the bowstring, drawing the string back, and releasing it to launch the arrow towards a target. I mean, that's what all arrows do. What else are you going to do with it? The process typically involves several steps. Knocking the arrow, drawing the string, aiming, and releasing the string. Yeah. Yeah. No, okay, so it's not a particular way to shoot, it's just on target, straight for the target. Okay, I get you. Good, good. Thank you, Evan, for the super chat. What's that deputy doing, hiding behind the screen? Look at him. One more time. It looks like he's at the haunted house ride at the carnival. Who goes there? Well, is it Charlie next? No. Oh, they're done for the day. They're done for the day. Well, let's just let them give a courtroom wrap up. Let's hear what Judge Everett says.
We'll escort you back to the jury room, and then we'll resume with the defense's case.
Will we? Looks like the day is blank for me, man. Got collar bars for 4 hours.
Everyone but the defendant can be seated at this time. Mr. Adelson, please raise your right hand, sir. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
You can lower your hand. Mr. Adelson, do you understand that you have the ability to testify on your own behalf?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you also understand that if you choose not to testify, your silence cannot be held against you?
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you had an adequate opportunity to discuss with your counsel whether you wish to testify?
If that were me right now, I'd be thinking, should I back out of this? I can still back out of this. Is it a good idea? Should I testify? I'm going to have to be cross-examined by fucking Georgia Kappelman, who's coming for my blood. But I'm going to do it anyway. I mean, fuck it. What a decision to make, huh? You know those tough decisions? Is there a tougher one than whether or not you're going to testify in your own murder trial? But, you know, we have to remember that he had deluded himself. His entire life, he's had his elevated self-image supported by those closest to him. In many ways, he's never left the cocoon of the womb.
Testify.
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you also been able to discuss with your counsel how this decision would fit into your theory of defense and also the strategy that you wish to present before the jury?
Christina, the True Crime Discord, the Metrix Discord, there's a link in the description. There's a new Discord. I know that you know, just it's been in flux last couple of days, so apologies for the lack of notice. I'm still working on it, so just it's like it's honestly meant to be lighthearted. So perhaps that needs some work. But there is a link in the description. Everyone, it's not particularly been officially launched yet, but if people want to be in it, the link is in the description. It's a new one, so everyone has to join again.
Yes, Your Honor.
Have you made a decision concerning whether you wish to testify?
Yes, Your Honor.
What is that decision?
I will testify.
Are you firm in this decision?
Yes.
Do you need any additional time to discuss with your attorneys whether you wish to remain silent?
No, Your Honor.
Do you understand in testifying you will be cross-examined by one of the prosecutors?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you also understand as well that your credibility will be placed before the jury as it relates to the testimony that will come out?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have any questions concerning that particular issue that you wish to discuss with counsel or raise before the court?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Rauschbaum, do you wish there to be any further inquiry concerning this matter?
No, Your Honor.
You may be seated.
Your Honor, may I be heard? It's the state's request that we either go late tonight, plan to go late tonight, or begin this examination tomorrow so that the examination of the witness can be...
Unfettered.
Yes,
Mr. Rauschbaum,
May we approach, Your Honor?
you may.
So Georgia wants Charlie's direct examination to be all in one block. It sounds like from that request. She said, can we either go late so he can finish the examination, or start tomorrow so the examination can be unfettered? So why would that be? Clearly she thinks it would be an advantage for the defense to split the testimony over 2 days. Would that be... Okay, I know why that would be. Because if the defense splits the testimony over 2 days, at the end of halfway through the testimony on the first day, the jury then have a whole evening, sleep, dinner, breakfast, shower, all of that time they've got to spend time with Daniel Rashbaum's story, right? To let that sink in. But if the direct examination finishes and Georgia is straight in to the argument against it, that's what they come away with. I like the tactic, Georgia. That makes a lot of sense. I absolutely see why you did that. Just want to hear that again.
Your Honor, may I be heard? It's the state's request that we either go late tonight, plan to go late tonight, or begin this examination tomorrow so that the examination of the witness can be...
Unfettered.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Rauschbaum,
May we approach?
And Judge Everett understood that instantly as well. There was a nod of recognition. There wasn't any question in his mind about why she was asking that. You see it on his face.
you may be seated.
Your Honor, may I be heard? It's the state's request that we either go late tonight, plan to go late tonight, or begin this examination tomorrow so that the examination of the witness can be...
Unfettered.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Rauschbaum,
May we approach, Your Honor?
you may.
One more night in the cell, Charlie, to think it all through. I sense we're wrapping up. You guys are going to get to see the new Metrix credits with all the thank yous.
His mind. I will not advise the jurors that he's taking the stand, but we'll just let them know they're going home early for the evening.
All right, they're going home for the evening. I think we're done with this, right? All right. You know, so tomorrow, Charlie Adelson on the stand. I mean, everyone's going to want to see that. We can't bail on this trial rewatch now. It's just about to get interesting. No, it's been okay, but I think this is the last time we're going to do a trial rewatch for a little bit because, you know, just takes up so many episodes. I get a bit lost in it. We need to do some other cases. We need to get back to the interrogations. There's many interrogations I want to cover, and I think we can do a lot of them in 1 or 2 episodes apiece. So that's going to be... We need to bring back some variety. I know everybody loves the Adelsons and all the exciting things are happening, but there are more criminals, guys. There are more criminals. So check it out. If you want to join Crazy Discord, there's a link in the description, but be aware, it's vicious. Okay? I'm sorry, I thought it would be funny. It's you know, it is what it is. We're feeling it out, you know, we're feeling it out. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's time to say goodnight. It's time to say goodbye. And thank you. Thank you to the chatters. Hang on, where's our fabulous outro? Ready with this? I think that'll play. Yeah, so what do we say? We say thank you to the chatters, the super chatters, the super sticker givers, the super coffee go-getters, and the bulletproof Metrix moderators. We'll be in touch. It was kind of all right. Oh, I am going to improve it. We need to tidy it up a little, but no. Okay, thank you everybody. Good night.